Yo, what's going on, guys? Vibes from the Six. We're back again with another video. Today, what we're going to be talking about is Tottenham getting rejected by their 7th or 6th manager. I lost track, honestly. Then we're going to talk about Chelsea being in the mud. We're going to talk about Man United securing top 4, Liverpool getting Europa League, and Mo Salah doing a massive tweet talking about it. In addition to that, we're going to look at the final games of the Premier League weekend. Who's going to get relegated? Who's going to stay up? Everything around that. Plus, talking about the weekend's games, of course. Let's get it started. As you guys know, the transfer window has begun. Let's get into it.
Here we go.
Yo, what's good? What's good, people? We got Abs in the house. We got Deji in the house. And we got you guys in the building, as we got Staffy who's going to join us, Hamza who's going to join us. In addition to that, Ram is going to join us representing Liverpool. We're going to have a full panel for you guys, hopefully, before the end of the show. But stick with us. Do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And I guess there's only one place to start. Bro, Deji, your Spurs are making headways. And it's not about football. It's about the manager search. Bro,
yeah.
You must be annoyed at this point.
To be honest, do you get what I'm saying? I am pissed off because look, the answer to Tottenham's problems is very simple, isn't it? What we need is Levy out. You can see what new owners can do to the Premier League. Look at Newcastle. They haven't even spent big, and they've already managed to hit and make the Champions League this season. We know the answer. Look, I'm actually gonna say I'm grateful for Levy for what he's done. You know what? Like, you can get to a level, and then you've hit the ceiling. Levy has hit the ceiling with Spurs. We can't achieve any more than he's achieved. He should be grateful. He got us one season challenging for the Prem. He got us into a Champions League final. But it's time for him to move his blood clot, and for us to get new ownership. The brother that's trying to buy Man United, stop looking in Manchester where it rains all the time. Come to London where it's sunny. Come and buy this club that is literally set up for a billionaire to take over. That's what we need. And at the moment, you can see that we've become a bit of a joke. Mourinho this week saying that the only club he will never remember in his life is Tottenham Hotspur, the one club that he didn't win a trophy. And where Tottenham are looking kind of Mickey Mouse is the fact that we know that you're after these managers, and then they come out with idiot statements like we never really wanted Nagelsmann. Shut your mouth. We can't say we don't want Nagelsmann because we ain't got nothing better. Arne Slot now, we don't want to pay the compensation. My brother signed an extension to his final contract. So right now, we are staring at the real possibility of bringing in Brendan Rodgers. Now, if Tottenham bring in Brendan Rodgers, I'm ripping my shirt online because I'm not having it. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I can't lie to you. If you had told me this time last season that this is going to happen, I'd have been shut your mouth. You're chatting rubbish unless I see another episode of...
How do you feel about what Jose said, bro? Because I'm just going to show everyone who doesn't know what Jose said. This is what Jose said. My whole career, I don't have deep feelings with Tottenham. That's the only team I don't have a connection with that has worked except Tottenham. So he's basically saying every other team he has a connection to except for Tottenham.
He's right, though. Do you know why? Because Levy done him dirty. Although I'm not going to lie, I was one of the ones that wanted Mourinho out at the time. The truth of the matter is that Levy's handling of Mourinho, he treated him like he was any guy, and he has every right to be aggrieved. But also, you can see that with Tottenham. Look, we can't afford to be flip-flapping with managers right now. Nagelsmann is available. Bro, you know, the biggest disrespect, the biggest piss take for me, and I get pissed off with Spurs fans who say they don't want to see Pochettino, because I'm like, are you a donut? Pochettino was the best manager that Tottenham's had since a minute. And he got us to a Champions League final despite not having a transfer window for 18 months. He warned us that it was going to be a painful rebuild, which means this brother wasn't really given the full reins to do what he wanted. Do you think Pochettino wants to go Chelsea over his dead body? That's like him taking on the manager's job at Barcelona. He would never do that because he's an SPL player. But the reason why he's going to Chelsea is because he called Daniel Levy. He said, yo, bro, if you need me, I'm here. And Daniel Levy turned around and told him to sack himself. So Daniel Levy is a pussy-hole, to be honest with you, because Pochettino is who Tottenham need right now. And we're ignoring him and we've let him go to Chelsea. So for us, we're a joke. As for me, outside the stadium next season.
Yo, listen, the Poch to Chelsea take. Can I ask you something though, did you? Because I know obviously now you Tottenham man, you take your rivalry seriously. So would you say Pochers are up for coming to us and
Bro,
not to you?
Let me tell you now. If Poch officially signs for you, man, if I see him on road, I'm gonna barge into him. He is a Sol Campbell, Judas Iscariot, which means you won't be hearing. Let me tell you, as soon as
would you take him back though, obviously.
Let me tell, bro. I'm gonna tell you this now. As soon as Poch takes on the manager's role at Chelsea, you will never hear Spurs fans talk about that brother again.
But if he doesn't do anything at Tottenham, you're not gonna care.
At Chelsea.
I mean, if he doesn't do anything at Chelsea, you won't care.
If he doesn't do something at Chelsea, I won't care. But bro, you got to understand the battle at the bridge. Abs, you know, the battle at the bridge is when it became personal between Chelsea and Spurs. That 2-2 game when Hazard scores and he's taking off his shirt and man them are fighting on the pitch. That's when we thought, yep, you guys are officially on par with Arsenal. For him, he was our manager at the battle of the bridge. For him to turn his back on us and to take up the mantle of being manager of that team, that means he's cut Tottenham, he's cut our history. That's what he's basically telling us. And for that reason, he's not alleged.
But Poch is going Chelsea. Have you accepted it yet?
Bro, I've accepted it, but let me tell you now, as soon as I see it signed and delivered, you won't hear me talk about Poch ever again.
All right, but Deji, here's where I play devil's advocate in it, because I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong for saying it. It's the consistency of it, because you just told, man, that what's the name? That he called up Daniel Levy and said, listen, I'm available, I'm right here, can you come take me? It's the same with Arsenal and Fabregas. Fabregas went to Wenger and said, listen, I want to leave Barcelona, do you want me to come back? And Wenger said no, even though they had first refusal, and then he came to us, which is why Arsenal fans, they don't like him for what he did.
You don't talk about Fabregas anymore.
No, I know, but at the same time, they look on it and say, well, we had the chance to get him back, but they just didn't take it, innit? In the same way, could you not say that, listen, Pochettino was there, he was willing to come back, but you lot just didn't take it, so he just went and joined whichever job was available for him? Because it's a job for him at the end of the day, innit?
No, bro, I think under normal, your theory is sound, it's watertight. The problem is, bro, it's Chelsea, bro. I can't lie to you. And, bro, you've got to go back and watch Battle at the Bridge. The amount of venom between Tottenham and Chelsea, even let's go as far as this season under Tuchel. That game at Stamford Bridge, where Tuchel wants to spark Conte in his headpiece, just shows you that there is no love lost between these two teams. We do not like Chelsea. You do not like Spurs. So for Pochettino knows that. He's been in the game. He was a manager of Spurs 5 years. He's had the battles. I know Daniel Levy done him dirty. He really did. Daniel Levy is a pussy for doing that. But at the same time, as soon as you make that move, your legendary status just kind of dim. Bro, it's like going out with a ting. I've spoken to tings that are buff. You know, you've seen some really buff tings.
Yeah, sure.
You're trying to chase them. And then you see them with some busted brother. You just don't look at them the same. You can't help it. You just can't look at them the same. And it's like that. Pochettino, we love him, but the love we'll have for him will never be the same.
So you'll boo him when he comes to your stadium, innit?
Bro, I would.
It's like you cheating on a ting, and then they go and find another person who you don't like. Is it really your business to care what they do after you broke up with them?
But
bro. But bro, it is what it is. You can't.
There's
like an unspoken code, bro. I hear what you're saying. There's an unspoken. This ain't America. You know what I mean? Where it's just capitalism just gone crazy. You know, there's some morals. At least let's have some sort of decency, some sort of, you know, I just feel like it's an unspoken code that you just don't shit on your doorstep, and that's exactly what.
Let me update Staffy on what we're talking about. Staffy,
I heard everything.
We're talking about Tottenham.
Yeah, I heard everything.
Pochettino joining Chelsea and how Deji kind of feels aggrieved. First of all, he said Daniel Levy out, Poch out. Are you enik out also? Of course, because you want the Qataris, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, no, he. Deji.
I heard you say Qataris.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Spurs are the next club linked to Qataris. You know that, right? So if they don't buy
Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham, everyone's linked to them, bro.
That's
It
true.
wouldn't surprise me if they bought Tottenham, to be honest.
Bro, I hope they buy Tottenham. You get me?
No, because you know what it is. Because here's the thing, right? I'm not even trying to like, because
If
obviously
they buy Tottenham, they have everything there.
no, because you know what, this may sound biased, innit? Because I'm a Londoner, innit? But like, London is a more prime spot for investment than money, innit? The only issue is if you go to the Tottenham Stadium, it's filled. I mean, it depends how you look on it, because visually it's pleasing. Like, the area isn't like, what's it called? You know, Tottenham's got big ground, loads of fans there. There's loads of work that could be done there as well. So they could do it. Like, you see what the city owners did in Manny, like, aside from just building that team, like, they built that whole area of Manny and like redeveloped it. They created new jobs and stuff. So it made more sense, to be fair. But at the same time, they're going to look upon it and think Man United is a bigger cash cow because, respectfully, they're a much bigger club.
No, but let's be honest. Who are some of these people who are saying no to Tottenham? Like, who is this Celtic manager to be on Tottenham?
That Celtic manager, let me just tell you now, the fact that the Celtic manager is even being muttered, do you get me, in the same breath as Tottenham Hotspur just shows the sort of stupidness that Tottenham have become a joke under Levy. Because I'm not lying to you, that Celtic manager's name should not be uttered near my club. Neither should be Brendan Rodgers. For me, there was only two options for Spurs. It was Poch or Nagelsmann. The fact that we're talking about other brothers, you might as well put me in charge right now. My name's in the ring. I'm offering to do the job for free because it's just stupid. You might as well put me in, because that's the level of nonsense. I know Sunday league managers, you know, Saturday league academy managers for the under-8s that I would want to put up for the Tottenham job.
Would you take Enrique?
Bro, the moment I heard, what's that guy's name? Ange Postecoglou or whatever his name is?
His name's Ange.
Yeah. Nah.
Bro, these guys are looking at a manager. Now, I know some people don't care about managerial experience because Arteta doesn't have experience at all. But he's formerly managed the Australian under-20s, Australian 17s, South Melbourne. He managed Melbourne Victoria, the Australian national team, Yokohama in Japan. I forget what the team is. Like, what? Bro, it's mad.
No, but you know what? No, but again, do you know what it is? I'll say this, right? You know what's funny, because I know a few now that there's a few Australian Chelsea fans I've interacted with online, and they've all said that this guy is basically their version of Pep.
Bro, this is his experience.
In Australia, he's Pep. In England, he's the guy that's working at McDonald's. You know, like that. I'm just keeping it real. Yeah, in Australia, he's Pep, but he's the guy working at McDonald's. The Premier League is what I always find quite astonishing sometimes when I'm chatting to people is that I feel like people don't respect our league, you know. Like, I feel like a lot of streamers, a lot of fans don't respect it. This is the toughest league in the world, period. Yeah. So to get top 4 is an achievement, you know, with Klopp, Pep, you get me, Unai, Ten Hag. So this brother doing well in Australian and the J League, and you get what I'm saying. There's no guarantees you can do something in this league. This is the big boys. Do you know what I mean? So for me, honestly, and then no disrespect to the Scottish league, but you can't really tell if it is a good manager if you win the Scottish league. I mean, I swear Steven Gerrard won the league.
And then Rodgers and
you know like that.
And they came over here.
No, but
you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna bring Staffy in here, but Staffy, look at this list. These are the managers who've turned them down so far, and add the Celtic manager now to that list. They've had 7 managers reject them. Is this not ridiculous now? And last time when they signed Nuno, they had 13 managers reject them.
It's looking bad, bro. But this is what happens when you've had 2 big managers like Conte and Mourinho leave on such a bad note. You know, when you bring in world-class managers like that, and Conte comes out and says that this is not a serious club, these players are not serious. This is what happens, bro. You know, if you go to a restaurant and I'm like, nah, bro, I've been there. That place is shit. Don't go there. You got to be crazy to still go and eat there. You know what I mean? And that's what happened with Conte and Mourinho. Two big names went in. They left on the same reputation, same issues, you know, regardless of the players being good enough or not. No one wants to take that job, bro. I'm not saying that Spurs as a club are not an attractive club. A lot of people would want to take that job. But a lot of people are also there looking at it and they're like, listen, I'm trying to build a reputation as a manager. I'm up and coming. Why do I risk it when more experienced managers took that job and they said it wasn't good? So unless something dramatically happens and changes in Spurs, this is going to be an issue going on for a while. Because I don't think it's going to be easy to attract managers that are young and upcoming and are trying to make a name for themselves. Because everyone's going to be cautious that they're going to tarnish their own, how do I say this? Just their own career that they're starting to build going to Spurs right now. Just because of leaving them. Not because of the name of Spurs, you know. Spurs as a name was good enough to attract Conte and Mourinho at some point. So this is not even a diss at Spurs, you know. It's just the reality of who's running them, you know.
Yeah, that's legit.
Oh, Eldon, would you say Spurs as a name or was it just the money that they were paying them? Because I wouldn't completely agree that Spurs as an entity would attract them names. I just think at the end of the day in football nowadays, you're gonna go where the bag is. So we know Daniel Levy plays it. Wasn't Conte one of the highest paid, if not the highest, while he was at Spurs? So,
it was one of the highest.
Yeah, so I'm not saying it wasn't because of Spurs, but I think it was more on the money side of things. But everything you just said, Eldon, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Let me ask you guys a quick question. Keeping it on Tottenham, if they would have had the manager ready to come in after sacking Conte, would they have at least gotten Europe?
I think so, you know. I think with the new manager bounce and, you know, bro, look at De Zerbi, bro. If you've got your house in order, you could bring in a manager that can turn things around. We've seen it with De Zerbi. We've seen it with Unai. When Unai took over Aston Villa, them man were like 4th, 5th from bottom. Look, Brad Clark, these men are going to get the Europa Conference League and good for them because I don't want to be in that dusty competition anyway. But the fact is, the turnaround that he's done has been pretty impressive. So I do think if you've got a good manager, and it just goes to show because that's the same players that Steven Gerrard couldn't buy a win. He's managed to turn them around and they've gone on a decent run. So if Tottenham... I think what my brother Roms is saying, though, is true. I just feel like the conspiracy theorists in me will say this is deliberate. Maybe this is for entertainment purposes. Because what Tottenham need to do is obvious. You can't bring in a Conte or Mourinho and then not spend players. That's just dumb. Or you don't want to spend money, so you go and get a De Zerbi, or you go and get a Unai, or you go and get someone, or Graham Potter, someone who can work with limited resources. But what we did is neither or. So it just doesn't make sense. Do you get what I'm saying? And so when people say, you know what, Daniel Levy is just kind of hoping that you just get Champions League football and that's it. I can't really disagree because I don't see the ambition in what we're doing. It just doesn't make sense. We're trying to offer Eric Dyer an extension to the contract. Why? I ain't kicked ball for 10 years. I'm better than Eric Dyer for crying out loud, and you can pay me £500 a week, you know, like that. So I'm not understanding the madness that's going on, apart from maybe it's all part of the entertainment and this is how they rub us off our pee. It's just stupid.
I just don't think you guys are a serious footballing foundation. It's all about money. And it's very easy to see because the Spurs I grew up on 10 years ago plus wasn't even making Europe and stuff like that in Champions League finals or just even being in the top 4 consistent like that. So this is a progress. The financial state that you're in right now is progress. But I think that was the goal all along. It's like, how do I make this a bigger entity and make more money, get a bigger stadium, attract more fans, be more of a global global recognized brand, you know, do all these events, getting these boxing events and Beyonce and whatnot. And I feel like to Levy, that's success. The owners are happy with that.
Yeah.
But there was never a plan on to be a successful footballing club. I don't think anyone sits there and they're like, how do we overtake City? I don't think that's a conversation.
Right.
I don't think everyone sits there and they're like, how do we overtake Arsenal's trophy haul? I don't think that's a conversation, you know? And this is why I feel bad for Spurs fans, because you're beating a dead horse, basically. If you're a Man United fan and you're asking for your team to go back to glory days, you have something to reference, you know? Or even if Liverpool, if they go back to like having a few bad years, they can go and say that, you know, or even Arsenal somehow. But Spurs, do you really want to win? The fans want to win. I just don't think you guys are heard, or you will be heard. And that's what sucks, because you can't even say, I want to go back to the glory days, because none of you guys witnessed it, you know? And you want to witness it, but no one cares.
You're
you
right.
know?
Do you know what kind of keeps me up at night? You know, like when you have a owner that comes in and they just do a madness. We saw Leeds go down. We could see Everton go down. You know, I would say the Everton chairman has tried. But I can see Tottenham just turning into a McDonald's. We are turning into a fast food chain where it's more about entertainment than it is anything else. And you know, we're so focused on Beyonce, we're so focused on the Skywalk. I had someone holler at me the other day and say, Des, let's go and do the Skywalk. Are you mad? I want to go to the stadium to watch football, not jump on the roof. You know, like that, like stupid things. You know, we're more focused on the Formula One. And I'm just thinking, by the time we blink, soon Tottenham's going to have a basketball team. Soon we're going to be swimming in the Olympics. And the whole thing's, I don't want there
You're going to have everything but trophies.
Basketball team, you know, like that. I don't want to have a Tottenham. In the Tottenham Stadium, we've got two parts. We've got the football part, we've got the NFL part. The NFL changing room is bigger than the Spurs changing room, the actual players. Bruv, I can see Tottenham Hotspur being an NFL team. NFL.
Listen, there's already the San Antonio Spurs.
49ers. What the hell is that crap? So, you know, and then we're done. Once we got an NFL team, I'm done.
Listen, bro, the San Antonio Spurs already exist, so maybe a collaboration is going to happen.
That's what I was thinking. The name's already sorted.
Yeah, guys, Beyonce's going to be there. Don't worry, they're okay. Let's now just talk about Tottenham. Do they have a god chance of winning the game against Leeds on the weekend?
Hell,
you know what? Sorry to cut you. I've joined late, but Des, do you want Conference League? I mean, you probably already said it, but
you already said no.
Roms, the thing about you're my brother, so I know we're just doing this just for the people who haven't met us. You know what? If Tottenham get Europa Conference League, I'm gonna smash my laptop and my phone. I'm smashing it because I don't understand that. Right now, it makes more sense not to be in that competition than to be in it. If Tottenham beat Leeds, and we somehow sneak that last position over Villa, I'm brucking up all my technology equipment. Just know that.
You know what, You know what, Des? That's the general consensus, because all the Spurs fans I speak to, like the Patricks, the
but it's possible, you know.
They all say they'll rather you be either in, not even in Europe, they'll rather you just not be in, so you can actually just focus on the club now. Because a year outside of Europe,
Villa play Brighton. Brighton have nothing to play for.
Bro,
I think Villa win. Maybe not win, but Villa don't lose that. I think they win or draw.
I pray Villa win. I pray. The
If
thing
Villa
is,
draw-
Villa fans would be happy with Europa Conference League.
They would.
Whereas me, the reason why we don't want it is because it technically allows us to put more pressure on Levy. We can say, look, we're not in Europe, you pussy-o. Now you better get us the manager that we want. Now you better spend the P that we want. If we get Europe, that dusty competition, then he can still say they achieve Europe under that blood clot basis.
You should go into the Conference League with the aim to try to win it. That's all.
But I'll tell you what it is. You know what it is, Deji? You've seen the riches. You've went to that Champions League final. You didn't win it, but you tasted it. You saw that Champions League final, that Champions League trophy in front of you, and you're like, "That's what I want." You was going out with that 10. and now you got to settle for that dusty 4. And you're like, I don't want it. And have someone else like Miguel basically right now saying like, no, take her seriously. No, fuck that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want that big thing, and that's the
That's right.
Champions League. And this is why you won't take it seriously. And this is why for the good of football, I hope Villa make it, because I think they deserve it.
Yeah.
And they'll take it way more seriously than you guys do, because you guys, to you, that's a downgrade. Whereas to them, they haven't been in Europe for a minute, and they would actually want to win it. You guys, didn't you guys get like eliminated? You didn't lose. You got kicked out of the tournament 2 years ago. I don't remember how.
We got kicked out and we didn't care.
Why did you guys get kicked out? I don't remember. You guys missed.
Yeah, I can't remember what
due to COVID, we couldn't play the game. And then they couldn't.
And you never rescheduled it.
They couldn't reschedule it, so we.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit. They didn't even reschedule. They're like, whatever, we don't care.
More
They got top 4. That's all that mattered to them.
Yeah,
for real.
Listen, let me ask you guys this though, because we got to shift gears now. Do Tottenham beat Leeds? Anyone think Tottenham beat Leeds?
Leeds win that for me, because they've got incentive. They're trying to. It's slim chance, but they're trying to stay up. So they're going to Ellen Road, Big Sam.
So who's getting relegated? Let's talk about this. Who's getting relegated?
Let me tell you something. I was on a show with Mo today, and he made a very good point. He said Spurs can either win this game 4-0 or they can lose 3-0. You never know what you're fucking expected from Spurs. And I was like, that's facts. Because Leeds care about this game. Spurs don't. They have the quality to beat them because they're better. But you never know what Spurs lost so many games this season to the teams that they're already better than. So like, I really don't know what to expect. I think Leeds should win it.
No,
I don't know if it will happen.
Dej will tell you though, last day of the season, Harry Kane is not a joke. I was reading a stat. He's got like, I think it's like 9 goals in over the last 5 last day of the season. It's crazy. So
it might be his last game for Spurs too. I think he wants to go out with the bag.
We'll bag tomorrow.
100%.
No, but Harry Kane bags every game. So my question to you guys is, looking at this table, Everton basically draw or win, they're in.
Everton's going down.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
My money's on Everton to go down.
If
I know
Everton go down, forget about YouTube. For the next hour after the game, you have to listen to Twitter Spaces. Everton Twitter Spaces are mental.
Do you know what?
I was in the Everton Twitter space. The stuff they call Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they'll get cancelled. All of them.
Yeah. You know what is a gal? I think Leeds and what's the other team? Leicester go down, because I actually think all 3 of them win. I think Leicester got West Ham at home. People can say what they want about Leicester. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I think you're going to see a Vardy and Madison master.
West Ham not taking that game seriously either. They got the Conference League final.
Exactly.
It's a dead rubber game for them, yeah.
And then Everton have Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth are at the beach, literally. Like, I don't know if you know the geographical stuff, Staffy, but Bournemouth are literally on the beach. But
okay. Let me tell you something funny, because I think I said that to Gail before. I've been to England once, and I stayed in Bournemouth for 10 days.
No way.
Of all places.
Of all the places.
So you know it can't go. But I think
I was literally on the beach.
So guys, let's go through this quickly. Leeds, Tottenham, everyone said Leeds win, right?
No, Spurs will win. Spurs will beat them.
Okay.
I don't know what to predict. I'm just gonna go with the Leeds win. Yeah, I don't know.
Them, man. So, Ellis Road is nothing.
So Brighton, Aston Villa. What is everyone saying?
Villa.
I say draw.
What are you saying, Daddy?
I say Leeds win, man. They're gonna slap up Tottenham 2 or 3-1.
And then Aston Villa, they win?
Yeah, Villa are gonna win.
They're gonna slap up Tottenham, man. Are you mad?
Okay. No, Villa versus Aston Villa. I mean Villa versus Brighton. Is my man lost? Did you hear what I said?
Aston Villa, Brighton.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think Villa win 2-1, bro. I look, Brighton's already qualified for Europa League. De Zerbi can chill. He's gonna play a couple of young bucks just to please the fans. They're gonna lose, and he's gonna be happy about it. The only game he really wanted to test his team, and he did a good job, was against Man City. I think there's a couple of games where he was resting, man. So De Zerbi's not gonna go out of his way to block what Villa are doing, and why would he? He's already done what he needs to do. He's proved himself to be legit, at least so far this season. Let Aston Villa also get on the plane and go to Amsterdam. You know, why not? Don't be stupid. Let's be nice.
Okay. And then Leeds, anybody have Leeds staying up?
Nah.
Because have you guys seen what Leeds need to do to stay up?
Yeah, they need to win, and they need to win and pray that the other teams both lose. But for
They
me,
need to win by a ridiculous goal margin.
no, not even. You know what they need to do, Igor? They need to pray. Basically, they need to beat what's their name? They need to beat Tottenham, and they need to pray that Everton and Leicester both lose, because then way they have one more point than what's their names.
This is their outcomes. So everyone loses, they get relegated. They lose and Everton lose, they get relegated. Basically, the only way they stay up is if they win, Everton and Leicester lose. If they win and Leicester draw and Everton lose. And then it gets to goal difference. It's a madness. The only way they stay safe is 2 scenarios.
Yeah, they're not staying up, bro.
They're finished.
They can fuck off.
The probability of them staying safe at this moment in time is like out of the 20 options, 27 options, they have 2. What's the odds of that? 27-2. What's the odds? That's a madness. Like, they're finished. Nobody can say Leicester they're staying up. And you know
down.
Sam Allardyce basically frauded them. The man came in, said, "Give me 4 million if I keep you guys up, but if I don't keep you guys up, just give me like 700,000." Guy just took the 700,000 cut.
It's not his fault though, again. Who acts that late? Who hires a manager with 4 games left to say, "Save me from relegation"? Where the hell were you for the second half of the season? Did you not know you were fighting relegation?
On top of that, you don't sign all of America and then sack the American coach.
That's what I said, bro. That's what I said. In the summer, I was talking to one of my boys. He loves the USA national team. I don't give a shit about.
I think the USA national team.
We gotta talk about.
Bro, he was talking about all these players going there, and I'm like, why is he signing all these USA players into the Premier League, thinking he's gonna stay up? And exactly what we predicted happened.
Yo, man, Ab's gotta go in like 10 minutes, so we gotta talk about Chelsea quickly. But before we do that, everyone just give me their predictions. Who's gonna stay up? I say Everton get relegated. Leicester stay up.
Same. Everton, Leeds go down, and Leicester stay up.
Yep, I think Leicester win and Everton go down.
Yeah, Everton, Leeds go down for me.
Wrong?
Everyone's predicting Everton. I think Everton stay up. I think they start, man. They just need to beat Bournemouth. That's all they need to do, and I think they get that done.
Easier said than done.
No, but Rums, if Everton go down, then you lot are having a party, isn't
it?
As a London Liverpool fan, I'm genuinely, bro. I'm not that bothered.
Abs, what's going on?
It'd be funny though.
Chelsea fans are fighting over Mason Mount. I seen the Mason Mount fans going crazy the other day, doing a 3-hour Twitter space, cussing everybody. I seen friggin' Mason Mount's leaving. Chelsea fans are on the beach. Your players have quit playing football for 4 months now.
I know, bro. Listen, do you know what the biggest disaster of it was? I was at the game yesterday in the away end for Man United and Chelsea. And listen, to be fair, it was a good laugh because, the fans were just there. They were there for a bit of banter because, let's be real, this has been a disaster of a season. I said this, and I'm not even ashamed to say it. This is pound for pound the worst individual season from a Premier League club. And I know there's been teams like Derby who went down on 15 points in 2008, and even Huddersfield a few years ago who were tragic and were one of the worst teams. That I don't think they got more than 20 points in the league. However, for the players we've got, for the money we spent, for the size of the football club, this is pound for pound the worst season in Chelsea history. This is the first time in my entire life that we have finished below 4 London clubs. Because we're going to finish below Palace, innit? Newcastle are going to absolutely slap us up this weekend. Palace are currently above us. We'll finish below them. So that's Palace, Tottenham, Arsenal, Fulham, Brentford. The 5 London clubs are going to finish above me this year. That's a disgrace, man. The whole season has been a disgrace. And for me, the best thing they did was they cancelled the Player of the Season awards, innit? Because none of them deserve it. The women deserve it. The academy.
They cancel it.
They cancelled it.
They cancelled it?
Yeah.
Like us.
Why am I surprised though? No, you're right. No one deserves it.
Nobody deserves it. Like, literally.
Did you hear what Lampard said after the game, though? In the press?
Pardon?
Did you hear what Lampard said to the press?
Yeah, I did hear what he said. And listen, you know what it is with Frank? A lot of people have cussed him out. They've said, here's the thing. Everybody knows that Frank isn't a good manager, innit? I know this for a fact. However, at the same time, I've said this 1,000 times. I would much rather have Frank as an interim than Potter on a permanent, because that Potter guy was a disaster and was rightfully sacked. Before anyone tells me that he deserved more time or deserved more money or whatever, he was rightfully sacked. He didn't deserve to get the job in the first place. He complete crap, incredibly overrated. But in general, the season has just been a disaster. The players have not put in the right amount of effort. The owners have been spending money now. There's no tomorrow with no plan. They've basically turned us into a glorified kindergarten, an expensive kindergarten, really, because they're signing every single underage child under the sun. Half the guys we've signed, Igal, aren't legal to go buy a Red Bull from the corner shop, and we're signing them for like 30, 40 M's.
What's going to happen on your last home game of the season versus Newcastle?
We're losing. We're losing. Do you want to know why we're losing? Because the manager's not good enough, and the players just don't care. They really don't. Now, I told you, I was sat in the away end yesterday, and I stood there, and Enzo was looking for a pass 3-4 times, lifted his arms like, why is no one moving? Why is nobody doing anything?
Do you know what? Yeah, I feel sorry for him. I want to speak on him a bit and give him his flowers, because I give him his flowers on Twitter quite a few times. But for me, he's already, and I know this might sound mad to a lot of people because Chelsea as a whole aren't doing well, but there's no one on his wavelength, because I only have Odegaard, Bruno Guimaraes, Bernardo Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne better than him in the league. I think that's how high I rate Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, whenever he's looking for a pass or something's on, I saw yesterday, he literally got the ball head up. Havertz, I can't lie, I think it was it Manasseh? I think it was Manasseh. Manasseh didn't read the runner. All Kai Havertz needed to do is recognise the trigger to run in behind. Enzo looked up, wanting to play the pass, but because they weren't on the same wavelength. This was one of many times, by the way, but this is the one where I thought, damn, you made this move either too soon or it was just the wrong move. Because I feel sorry for him. He's such a quality player, and everyone around him is just letting him down. Like there's nothing's in sync. There's no relationship with him and other players because he's trying his hardest. He was the one to calm. There was a bit in that game where it was quite frantic, right? And he was the guy to calm things down for Chelsea. But no one's running off him. No one's playing 1-2s. It was just United could actually do what they wanted yesterday. But I feel sorry for him because you obviously haven't. But and I think you said it. But you just don't deserve that guy right now. But
we don't listen. Yeah. You know what it is? You know with this team, right? It's just been a complete disaster in it. And the thing is, as much as a lot of you may know, I was a well-documented hater of Graham Potter. I wanted this guy gone. I even said if he got me top 4 this season, I want him out, because for me, top 4 at Chelsea, if you're Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, even Man City now, if you're that kind of club, that should be the bare minimum.
We're gonna talk about that. Save it. Mo Salah's tweet.
Oh no, don't worry. We'll get to that later. But for me, right, the thing is like, but the thing is it's been a collective disaster from everyone. And I'll be real in it. We're gonna be in the trenches for a very long time. A lot of Chelsea fans are coming with this. I don't know, bro. I'll tell you.
This is why I love you, because you're a realist. I've been saying this isn't just gonna be a quick fix.
You guys are gonna be there in a minute, bro. You're gonna be there in a minute.
Listen, I'll be so real.
You know what someone told me today? 3 years they're going to be challenging. I'm like, what?
Gal, I've heard worse. Someone told me today that they'll be in the top 4 next season. I said, what planet are you on? What planet are you at?
Listen, depending on the manager, I think they might be in the mix. I don't think
they can challenge, but they won't get 4th. No way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they might be this year's Brighton or
I was on the terrace
like
earlier, and I said to them to expect Chelsea to be challenging in 3 years from where they are today is crazy. And everyone's telling me, what do you mean? If Arsenal can get from 8th, they can challenge. I'm like,
no, but their point, Miguel, is that you actually don't know what might happen in 3 years. Because 3 years ago, you guys look like a mess like them 3 years ago. At least they were kind of signing big players. So the circumstances are different. But I know you didn't expect 3 years ago that you're going to finish second and go for a title race.
Exactly.
So their argument is valid, but you're also not wrong. You know, you're making more of a logical prediction.
No, it depends on what it looks
3 years ago, I thought we were going to win the Champions League by now. So you don't know how good it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Miguel, tell me that you're playing with me, because there's no way I heard you say that.
I'm serious. You guys remember Arteta did the whole thing where he said in 3 years we're going to win the Champions League?
Yeah, and you fucking signed Willian after he said that.
You remember that? The whole thing about Arsenal is going to win the Champions League in 3 years? Wallah, I bought into the hype. I bought into the hype.
Mm,
So I understand why Chelsea fans are going to be saying, "Oh, we can do something in a couple of years." But
No, but do you know what it is?
I
Right?
can't believe I
get
missed
having-
that.
My point is, I understand having optimism, but when you're fighting with me, don't just say, "Oh, we're Chelsea, we're not Arsenal." That's the difference. That's not an answer.
No, but here's my thing though. I can understand. See, I hear the logic of where Chelsea fans say we could potentially get top 4, top 5, because I think top 5 gets the Champions League from next season anyway. I can hear the logic. I can hear the logic why, because if you think about it, but in order for that to happen, do you not understand what needs to happen? Basically, the stars have to align so perfectly to the point where the margin for error is literally like this big. There can literally be no mistakes. Every signing has to come in and hit the ground as if there was Bruno Fernandes in the first 6 months when it's Manchester United, pretty much. And there has to be a massive clear out. Preseason has to be perfect. Literally everything, bro.
There's a lot that needs to happen right at the same time. Yeah, you're right.
Because I'll be real, if you're playing 1 game a week, it's not impossible to get into the Champions League. However, even in the grand scheme of things, getting into the Champions League, is that really a success?
Let's get the comments involved. What do you think your expectations for Chelsea are next season, everybody? Everyone here also.
Bro, listen, people have their own expectations. I'll be real. I said we're not going to get top 4. We probably won't get top 6. We probably won't even get into Europe in general. I'll be so real with you. Now, next season is going to be another disaster. Do you want to know why? Because I'm an aspiring lawyer and I'm doing law at uni. So I don't deal with now if, buts, and maybes.
I wonder why you're so calm talking.
Listen,
I was like, why is he not mad?
No, listen. So I don't deal with if, buts, maybes, and flipping if this happens, if that happens. I deal with proof, I deal with evidence, I deal with what I see in front of me. Until I see proof of this football club moving away from Project Kindergarten and trying to develop us into a team that can challenge for the Premier League, not get top 4, because that's the aim at Chelsea, winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League. Top 4 is the bare minimum as far as I'm concerned. And it should be if you call yourself a big club. Until I see them try something which is going to take us there, then I'm not believing none of this. I don't believe we'll get top 4. We are not going to get top 6. And this summer is going to be another disaster. And next season might be a little bit better, but we won't get any more than 20 points off where we are today.
You know what? Big up Abs, bro. I know you got to go. Appreciate it. Very fresh air having a Chelsea fan who's very logical. Appreciate it. You have yourself a wonderful day, Abs.
I big up. Love people.
Nice meeting you, bro.
Big up. Guys, do you guys agree with a lot of what he said? Because I'm not going to lie, I agree with a lot of what he said.
I just wanted to know who he wants as a manager, so I'm upset that he left. But
he was okay with Poch, if I'm not mistaken. Deji, when he was he's happy with Poch.
I agree with him. I said Chelsea will finish between 6th and 8th next season. I don't think it'll be as bad as this. I think even as a rival, if you said it's going to be exactly how it is this season, you're probably just trolling it. For me, it can't get any worse than this season. But in terms of progression, it's not going to be a great deal. I reckon I'll probably say 7th or 8th place. I think if they get Europe, they'll scrape that Europa Conference. But then I think 8th get Europe next year because top 5 get Champions League. I think another place is added, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But I agree with everything Ab said. 100%.
You know what, Rams? This is what Chelsea fans need to understand. And if anyone's watching, pay attention to what I'm about to say. You guys need to understand that the only thing that's left from the old Chelsea is just the name. The whole thing is different. And this is what I tried to tell. One of my friends is a Chelsea fan. I tried to tell him that in the beginning of the season. And he told me this. He was like, I trust that Chelsea will come back. And I was like, what makes you say that? He was like, you're telling me a club as big as Chelsea is not going to come back? I said one thing to him. I was like, your most successful era was because of one man, okay, which is Roman Abramovich. And he's not there. So you have no evidence or proof to why that you are going to go back outside of the name Chelsea. I use a very simple example, bro. I was like, let's say I'm running a restaurant, Staffy's Mediterranean cuisine, and I sell that shit to Rams tomorrow. Rams has no experience with restaurants, okay? And I did. I sold him the thing, took everything with me, and I just left him with the name. Rams walks in tomorrow. Still says Staffy's Mediterranean cuisine. The staff is different. The management is different. The furniture is different. The menu's different. The customers are different. There's nothing that is recognizable other than the name. That does not mean that this Russ aren't now, this business is going to stay successful because you came in and you changed the whole infrastructure. And that's what Todd Bowley did when he went in. He got rid of everyone, including the management, the higher-ups, the staff. Bro, even the players. This guy signed you like what, 11, 12, 13? I don't even know how many players you signed. So even you have a different starting 11 with a little bit of like the old ones that are not even good enough, like Asbel Quetta and them. There's nothing about this club that's the same that you can look at it and you can be like, well, come back. Why? No one is there anymore. Nothing from the old days is there, not even the management. So they need to understand that this is a whole new thing that they don't recognize. Forget Stamford Bridge and the name Chelsea on top of it. That's the only thing that you remember. Everything else is different. So based on that, you need to understand this is a whole new project that you have no proof that this is going to work. You might believe in it, but you have no proof or concrete evidence that this is going to work. And this is going to be a long ride for you guys. You know, only the loyal ones and the strong ones are gonna like, you know, keep up with it.
The thing is, Staffy, that Chelsea fans are allergic to the word patience and time. They want everything now. They want everything right now. They want it. They want it.
I said
quick.
that, and Don didn't like it on the terrace.
Do you know what Chelsea's problem is going to be? I agree with everything you said, Staffy. Yeah, but do you know what their main problem is going to be? Their fans. In this next few years, for me, it's not really going to be. Bowley will be a part because again, you will know as an American as well, the way you run America, and a gal will kind of know as well.
Baseball.
Obviously, I know you're Canadian. You know you're quite
It's the
good
same
at
thing.
American sports and whatnot. But to run American teams and in English teams, it's completely different. And my point is, what similar to what you were saying, Staffy, to Chelsea fans is they need to understand not only that the whole regime's changed, they also need to be patient because we all know, to an extent, getting owners out is a bit harder, but fans run the clubs. Fans are the club. Without fans, football is nothing. And I think the people that are going to put the most pressure on Chelsea are their fans, but they also just need to give it time and patience because I just feel that club, they're just like spoiled kids. The minute one thing goes wrong, they're just going to go chiming in. This is why I don't think Poch will last long. I don't know if I've told you three yet, but I said Poch will probably be sacked by January, and I still believe by that. Not to say he's a bad coach.
I reckon he'll do a good job, you know.
I do too, bro. No one wants to listen to me.
Not to say he's a bad coach. I actually rate Poch. A lot of people don't. I rate
Poch. He's going to get sacked.
Yeah, because in my opinion,
because of the pressure, though, we go. The same thing they did to Potter. Sorry,
yeah, I just think they're going to
do the same
pressure
thing,
too much. And remember, Bodie's already joining space at start seeing one thing I'll give to Bodie. You can say what you want about him, but he does care about the fans. Like,
he's trying, but he's trying too much.
Yeah, but he's trying. That's it, Staffy. He's trying too much, and I just feel once he hears all the Poch out, he's going to buy into that. It's going to transmit to him, and that's why I think I've been saying around maybe January, end of January window, I can just see Poch getting sacked. I hope I'm wrong because I actually want him to do well to an extent. Never Chelsea better than my club, but I want him to do well. But I just think the fans will be the reason that he's run out the club. I could be wrong, but that's just the way I see it.
No, I agree with you, bro. I actually agree because I predicted the same. I thought the same thing for Potter, bro. And I was like, because they're signing so many players.
Manager's time.
I don't think Todd Bowley is going anywhere.
No, he's not going anywhere. He's talking about Poch.
Not Poch.
Oh,
that isn't going anywhere.
Pochettino. Listen.
Yeah, wait, did you think I was thinking about Bowley?
Yeah, I don't know why he thought that.
Chelsea are going to start getting the PR. You know the PR? All three of us know. Actually, all four of us here know the PR. Chelsea, for the longest time, have been rid of PR, even though that things are detrimentally going up against them. They usually, when the fans see something that's wrong, the ownership sees the same issue and they solve it. You know how our clubs, when we see something wrong, they usually tell us, "No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong." This is usually they tell us you're wrong. What's happening that you think is happening is not happening. Actually, this is happening. And then a bunch of our fans start listening to what they're saying and say, you know what, you're right. Like earlier, he was talking about when managers reject us, instead of the club saying we got rejected, they say we rejected them. And then people run with it. Same way how Liverpool can't pay for Jude Bellingham. No, you can pay for Jude Bellingham. You just know that if you have a choice between Real Madrid or yourself, he's going to pick Real Madrid. So you're saving your face. And this is what's going to start happening to Chelsea. They're going to start finding situations where Chelsea Football Club, the fans are being lied to. They're going to get more and more propaganda thrown their way for them to buy into what Todd Bowley's doing, and eventually they're going to find themselves in a situation where Glazers or FSG, where they're going to be saying, you know what, I want this owner out, and that's where I think it's going to end up. I think they don't win another trophy with Todd Bowley.
Fair.
Like, I'm saying major trophy. They could win a FA Cup, League Cup.
Yeah,
Chelsea,
I agree with that.
Chelsea, as we know it, are at the beginning of their trophy drought. We've all been through it. Tottenham's still going through it. I'm still going through my league title drought. You're on a current 10-year league title drought. You just broke your 30-year league title drought. Chelsea's going to start theirs.
Yeah.
But let's get into Liverpool, because Liverpool.
Oh yeah, let's get into Liverpool.
Liverpool missed out on top 4. You guys were laughing at United after 7-0, laughing at United all season, waiting for them to slip. They didn't slip. And the most craziest thing of all, the man who's the quietest on social media, who I never see ever say anything about anything, even when it's Christmas or holidays, he just says one sentence or one word. Mo Salah comes out with a eulogy about Liverpool. Now, this is mad to me, because this is something straight out of Lee Gunner's handbook. Like, guys, this is mad.
Yeah, he retweeted that. He was happy about it.
Listen to this.
I'm totally devastated. There's absolutely no excuse for this. We had everything we needed to make it to next year's Champions League and we failed. We are Liverpool and qualifying to the competition is the bare minimum. I am sorry, but it's too soon for an uplifting or optimistic post. We let you and ourselves down.
Some people will say standard. Some people will say, "Come on, Mo, you don't have to be that hard on yourself."
You know how blame? Do you know how blame?
A lot of your fans are. A lot of people are bantering. A lot of people are going crazy. A lot of it is Arsenal fans and Man United fans in the comment section.
Go back to that. Yeah, that picture.
But the reality is, what he's saying is somewhat right, and some of it is also extremely harsh to himself.
Of course, the thing is, of course, what he's saying is right, but he's drinking the Rashford Kool-Aid from this guy's club.
Yes,
that's a Rashford thing. That's a PR. Salah doesn't need to do. The thing is, the reason why for me that post was just funny is because he's saying what we already know. We know all them things. We know it's been a poor season. We know Champions League football should be, like Ab was saying earlier, for most of our clubs it should be the bare minimum. But for me, he signed a contract which he deserved at the start of the season. Our highest paid player, I think, puts him in the top 5 highest paid players in the.
He's the highest paid, I think, in the Prem.
Not highest. He's in the top.
No. Man United have 3 players with.
We definitely have someone who gets paid.
Yeah, I think they got De Gea, Sancho, and someone else in there.
The highest paid player in the league is actually Kevin De Bruyne.
Exactly. So I think Salah's 5th or 4th. I was seeing it the other day. Because remember the whole Saka stuff, people were seeing it was 300k when it's actually 195. They had a whole graphic of the highest players, but he got offered the contract. And for me, yes, you could say through us bringing in Nunes, his roles kind of changed. Here it is. I didn't even know Koulibaly was on that much. His roles
350 a week. What the hell? Who?
Sancho's on that money.
Yeah, but Sancho's not actually making 350 a week. Most of it is with GA, and he hasn't been meeting his targets.
This is if you meet all your incentives, you make that money.
And he's not, so he's making 200 something.
Okay.
Yeah. But with the Salah thing, through Nunes, most Liverpool fans knew through Nunes coming in, we knew his role would change initially. So he'll be more of a touchline winger instead of an inside forward. But for me, when you sign that type of contract, the club are saying you're the main man. Like in times of need, when them tight 0-0 games and we need a goal, we're gonna look to you. And I know the narrative is he still had a fantastic season, because if you do, this is what I say to Liverpool fans: the GA metrics, he will always be happy. Because I retweeted something the other day. A big Liverpool account said Salah should be in the team of the season, and I said, "There's no way you can tell me he's had a better season than Martinelli or Saka." I got slated by my own fan base. I've got thick sins, I can take it, but I got slated because I'm saying, yes, he will always be high in the metrics, but when you have to combine performance with it, there's been too many games, Bournemouth away, Fulham opening day of the season, Forest away, where, cool, the whole team's bad, and I can't just blame Salah, but you know when you then look at your franchise player, you look at your talisman to get you out of them situations, he's just not really done it for me this year. So that post was kind of like, yeah, you're telling us what we already know, but it's kind of cheeky.
What was Klopp's reaction before we go on to McAllister next season and everything?
Klopp said the most bullshit, bro. In general, bro. Did you hear what he said?
Let me just tell you something, yeah? I went to the gym at 10 a.m. I got out the gym. I read what Klopp said. I went back in to release more. I was fuming because when he said we've played in European competition for Tuesday and Wednesdays. Now it's Thursday. It doesn't matter. I was fuming. You know what, Dad? You speak out smashing his phone. That's exactly what I wanted to. I said, you know what? Let me just bench a couple more reps because this guy, he's lost the plot. How dare to us Liverpool fans? I said this. That's like, what do you mean? There's a big difference financially, accolade-wise. Like Champions League is the greatest club competition you can win in world football.
You know what I think he meant? I think he meant that it doesn't matter in the sense that to them they're just gonna focus on the Premier League.
Nah, he definitely didn't mean that.
No, I have to disagree. I know because someone else said that.
That's what Hussam told me at least.
No, but
I think he will focus on the Premier League. Yes.
The Klopp inners will back him where they don't see things through our lens. So I understand Hussam saying that, and I get into a degree that we're going to prioritize Premier League because us Liverpool fans, we got high standards. We want to challenge again next season. Whether it happens or not, that's down to opinion. But that is where we want to be. Because my aim for next season,
I think they will.
I can only answer that after our window account. Depends who we bring in. But for me, I want to win the Europa League and challenge for the title. It's never been done. No, I don't think any Prem club in the last 20, 25 years has won the league and Europa League. It just doesn't really happen. But I still think City will win next season. But I still want to be there. I still want to push them because if there's anyone that's shown last 4 or 5 years that can push them properly, I think it's still us. But it depends who we bring in. But for me, I don't want to sack off the Europa League. And this is no dig at Arsenal. It still is a European competition. But to say there's no difference on a Thursday night than Tuesdays and Wednesdays, that's a big diss for me. Because we all know that Thursday to Sunday, I've always said it's the same. I remember we said it on Never Foul Gal. I always said the days in between, I didn't understand why it makes a big difference because the time span in between is still the same. But I think it's more of a psychological thing. When you're returning on a Friday and you've only got a day to train, and then you have to go out again on the Sunday evening.
And you can only play Sundays, bro. You can only play Sundays.
It does something to the players. But that pisses me off what Klopp said. That genuinely annoyed me because you know why I was even more cheekier as well. When you think of Liverpool Football Club, you think of trophies, but the main trophy you associate with is the Champions League. Yep. So how dare you say, Thursday nights are different to Tuesday and Wednesday? That not only I was annoyed, I was hurt by that.
Can I? Sorry, my bro. Can you just confirm live on the girls' show?
I know what you're gonna say. I know
what your true thoughts are about these other competitions. Just keep it real, my brother, because people been telling me all sorts of crap. Tell me because bro, we're sounding very similar, but I want you to let everyone know in the chat, those who are gonna watch later, those from overseas, what is your thoughts about the Europa League and every other competition below it?
For me, the Carling Cup and FA Cup, yeah, we done the double last season, but I'm like you, Deji. I don't see them as wow, it's a great season if we were to win them. Do you know what I mean? You know what's funny? You say that, Deji. I'm big up G because G's in the chat. You will remember this tweet because we were battling all these top reds start of the season. I said if we have the same season we had last season for the next 3 years, so that would be FA Cup and League Cup 3 years in a row, that would be a failure for us. I was getting these fans saying, Listen, hear me out. I was getting Liverpool fans
you're saying 2 domestic trophies every year
for 3 years in a row. That's still a girl that from the club of my size.
I'm not gonna lie. Us winning the FA Cup several times was considered a failure, so I get it.
But it's not even just that, gal, because you need to add context to it. If we had the same season 3 years in a row last season, it would mean losing the title the last day of the season 3 times in a row. It would mean 3 Champions League finals lost. It would be a failure, but I was getting top red saying, but it's 6 trophies within 3 years.
No, but in that sense, the trophy sense, they're right that you have had some success. But to say there's no progression, that's the issue.
Can I just say that this is probably one of the best streams that I've been on, because even though you guys haven't directly come out to say it, what you guys have done is confirmed what everybody knows. That unless you're winning the Premier League or the Champions League, every other competition is dusty. Nobody
I wouldn't
cares.
call them dusty though, Deji. I'll tell you what, they're the appetizers. I always call them that.
I
The
don't know.
appetizers.
I
I
don't
want
know.
to munch on those appetizers until the dinner is here.
Bro,
know
So
what's
dinner
funny,
to
yeah?
me is Premier League
Can
and
I give you
Champions
an
League.
analogy?
I agree with
Can I give you an analogy? Because you know I like to do my little things analogy.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you're saying to me is you've seen this buff thing in the rave, this fine honey,
I'm going to a rave tomorrow,
and then
but
a bedroom that is dusty is in the way. You're telling me you're quite happy to just be with the bedroom, you know, because at least it's a ting. A ting
No,
is a
Deji.
ting. Or are you going for the main prize, my brother?
you can have all of
No,
them.
but
That's
the
the
main
thing.
prize.
Let me ask you this. If your team can't win the Europa League or if your team has a choice to win the Europa League or nothing, you're going to take the Europa League. If your team has a choice of winning FA Cup,
That's what
or
I'm
League
trying to
Cup
say,
or
Gal.
nothing, you're going to take the trophy. But what you're saying is, in order to try to get the Premier League or Champions League, you're willing to sacrifice every other trophy.
Bro,
Look,
you just heard
You know,
my bro.
Can I quickly go?
Go on.
Can I quickly, just before you go, Dej, you know I'm going to back that because Dej said before the season even started, he said two things. I'm giving you your flowers here. He said Liverpool fall off. He predicted this. I'm going to give you your flowers. He said, Ron, we were all laughing. Like, what do you mean? Like, we're challenging again. He said, listen, them tabloids and that don't feed into them. You lot are, this will be the season you lot decline. And he actually said, not even just decline, a massive decline. So I give you your flowers on that one. Second thing, there's this general thing. Some people are probably watching that. How's this Spurs fan bashing off others, like putting other trophies aside when they've not won anything? But one thing I've got to give to Dej, he's been consistent with this. Even though your club's not won trophies in donkey years, you still said you just want one of the main two. You also said you win one of the main two. I didn't forget that. But
He even said after they lost the FA Cup that they're winning the Champions League. Bro, you know you could have been.
He's always had these standards, though. I'll give it to Dej.
He had an easy road to the final too. His road actually came true. Inter, freaking, he could have played.
Yeah, you could have played all them.
Do you remember when I called out the Inter in the final? Remember?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
The same.
If you would have beat Thing, you would have had Napoli and then Inter, and then you would have had Man City in the final.
Yeah, and I said
would
to
have
you,
done them. Though.
And
I
on
said
the
to
one-half
you-
game, if you need anyone in world football to beat Man City,
it's Tottenham. I think Pep came out this week and they went.
But then
"Look,
they'll say it, Gal, because it's a trophy. They might not. Yeah.
They went, if you do the treble, you know, what else is there to do? And my man went, well, to score at Tottenham. Like, I don't know what this judges that Tottenham have over City, but I said it at the beginning of the season. I'll keep saying it. If Tottenham was to draw City in the Champions League, I'd be calm. I don't know why.
I hear it, though.
I don't
I
know.
actually hear it.
I'd be
I
calm.
actually hear it.
What were you laughing at? We're one of the only teams that beat
it's
them,
funny
bro.
because it's true. You
Yeah.
guys put them up in the league every year.
They haven't scored a goal in our new stadium. How about that?
That
It's
is
crazy. Yo, guys, let's shift gears because now Staffy wanted to say something on United. Well, I mean Liverpool. Did you want to say something, Staffy? Because you couldn't wait for this Liverpool section.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I don't
loves
remember.
getting his teeth heads in.
Now, listen, bro, I've had my fun with Liverpool fans. I mean, like, go on my Twitter, you'll see on my posts. I've had enough.
Have you seen all the Europa League songs? Everyone's doing remixes. That could bite United fans in the ass.
Bro,
Just
I'm getting
make
all
sure
this
you
shit
get
that
out
we're
your
gonna
group.
get.
That's all I'm saying. Because you could meet us after the turn of the year. Just make sure you get out your group. That's all. I'm
Bro,
gonna
just
say.
stop saying that. All these people telling me we're gonna finish third and all that. Did you guys see Zayn yesterday on the terrace try to sell me that bullshit too? You know,
He
I don't
hates
know.
it. He just
Yeah, bro,
sometimes he
listen,
just
if
hates
you-
United. There's no
I'm
logic.
not gonna lie. When Zayn speaks, I don't listen.
Listen, if anyone missed it, just go on my
Like,
Twitter.
I'm gonna be
It-
honest. He's my
it
fellow
was-
Liverpool fan, but I'm the same. I'm the
Yes,
same.
listen,
man.
that's what I'm saying. If you missed it, go on my Twitter. It was Zayn Halal Chicken yesterday because I was barbecuing that guy. You know, he speaks a
Man's
lot
like
of
Shaq,
nonsense.
get it?
And
Huh?
what he'll do when he's wrong,
And
he'll
you were like
start,
big Shaq, Diesel, eh?
he'll start diverting.
Yo, let's go to United quickly because United got top 4. They got a trophy. Deji, you're not rating their season. They got a League Cup. They got top 4.
Who, United?
Yeah.
I think, can I be real? I
Of
think,
course.
given what we've been seeing of United, this has to be one of their best seasons in recent years.
Since
Because-
Mourinho, basically.
Man United fell off a cliff. But if there's any Man U fan that's going to pump their chest for winning a Mickey Mouse trophy and finishing 4th, then you know it's
Third,
a shambles.
please.
Because any
Third.
real United fan knows that is Premier League or nothing. So there's no Man U fan that can come on any stream or chat in the chat, shake their bum like his fist goes the phone song. None of them can do that. But given where they've come from and to where they are now and what they managed to achieve, Erik ten Hag did a good job because I had him in May to be out of a job by now. But to be honest with you,
What?
I didn't rate him.
It's not a bad prediction.
I'm not even going to lie. I didn't rate him. I didn't think he was
No,
going to.
but for him to get sacked in the middle of the season after his first season, never.
I thought he might. I mean,
we did it in once.
Bro, the
to
new
be honest,
trend, the new
he done
trend-
all right. But when I look at what he's achieved and I look at what Eddie Howe's achieved, I'm thinking that Eddie Howe is probably a more impressive manager given what he's done with that Newcastle team. But I think United can be satisfied for now. But if Man United was to repeat this next season,
facts.
He's out of the job.
You know what?
No, but you want to know something? If you replace Arsenal season with Newcastle, everyone's going to be impressed. If you replace Man United season with Newcastle, you're going to be impressed. It's the fact that it's Newcastle. It's not the fact of what they've done.
I think.
But let me talk about my manager a little bit, because this is not my segment, okay? My manager.
I'll have my piece after as well.
You have what?
I want to have my say.
I'll let you have a little piece. Of
Liverpool fans definitely have a big agenda against United, though.
Listen, man, this is the thing. Ten Hag, first season comes in. Deji said it perfectly. Man United fell off a cliff. So what's given to him and what he has to deal with and what to work with, he's done a decent job. He's reached 2 cup finals. Mickey Mouse or not, this is what I always say. I'd rather win a Mickey Mouse Cup than lose a Mickey Mouse Cup. You know what I mean? Because if I lose a Mickey Mouse Cup, what does that say about me? Okay? So that's number 1. 2 cup finals.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, bro, would you rather be the guy that won it or would you rather be the guy that lost it? Like, it's a Mickey Mouse Cup and you still couldn't win it. It's even more embarrassing to me. But anyways, reached a quarterfinal in a European competition. Reach a quarterfinal European competition. We all know what happened in that capitulation versus Sevilla in the first game. You can argue the injuries and the players let him down the second half. I'm not going to make excuses, but we know what happened. This guy was playing the most games in Europe. He has 41 wins in his first season in Man United, and that's the most a manager has ever had in the first season with the club. So that's a record, okay? He took us to top 4. Finishing 3rd, potentially 3rd. If we win our next game, we finish 3rd. Okay, the only thing you can say he didn't do is compete for the league. Let's be realistic. You never thought he was going to compete for the league, okay? Now, with what he had and what he had to deal with in his first year, in between this whole thing of change of ownership and, is he going to get his signings in the summer? Is he going to be allowed to get rid of the players that he wants? He got rid of Ronaldo and the whole Ronaldo saga that was going on. He started benching Maguire, something that we didn't see Ole do no matter what, because he had to play him because of the price tag, all that. This guy has done things that are different than other managers. He came out yesterday, said, the level that I want to be at, we need to have better players. And that's basically calling out the players and calling out the club, because he put everyone on blast. To say, I need better players, that just shows, I forgot who I was watching that made a very good point. He was like, none of these players could be upset now, because what are they going to do? They're going to strike against them before the FA Cup final? The guy just came out and blatantly said, I need better players. So these players need to prove themselves in an FA Cup final and win something. So this guy's setting the standard high, and this is what I like about him. He knows what it is to be at Manchester United, and he's not scared to say it. Back then, you would never hear that. You would hear these things like, oh, a close source from the manager said that he wants to get rid of blah, 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 blah. But it would never be out out of his mouth, basically. And he's come out and said that. Even with the whole De Gea situation, because a lot of people were like, oh, well, he's given De Gea a new contract. It shows that he's not going to get a new goalkeeper. He's putting him on a 2-year contract with a reduced wage. So if I tell any one of you guys, would you take De Gea as your backup goalkeeper? None of you guys would say no. You'd have to be crazy to say no, because having De Gea as a backup goalkeeper is actually pretty impressive, Yeah. So this just shows me where he's trying to go. Now, it's all going to come down to this summer. Do we get Qataris or do we get Sir Jim? Do we get the players that he wants? Because everyone's talking about adding 4, 5, 6 players. Do we actually give him the backing that he wants? We're hearing stuff about Harry Kane and Kim Min-jae and Neymar. He didn't even deny the Neymar thing in the preview. They asked him before the game in the in the press conference, and they were like, "Do you have anything for us to basically say about Neymar, about the transfer?" He was like, "I'll let you guys know when we get more news," which means that he's not saying no. So I don't know where this club is moving, but it seems for the first time in a while that this club is moving a little bit more
Would
serious.
you be happy with Neymar?
I'd take him in a heartbeat, bro.
I think that's a waste.
Exactly. This is why you're my guy.
In
This
a
is why you're my
heartbeat, bro.
guy.
You know what, Rams? You know what these people tried to tell me, and I listen. I talked to Terry yesterday of the whatever, like we weren't live or whatever. We were talking backstage, and he was trying to explain to me what he thinks about Neymar, and basically he put it down to if getting Neymar and putting him on 900K, not even the availability, because we can all agree on that. But he was like, if we're gonna put him on 900K and waste so much money and we can't fill the other gaps, then I don't want him. But if we do and we get Neymar, I'll be happy with it. And I was like, you know what? I hear that. I accept that. Everyone else that's saying I wouldn't want to take a risk on Neymar. There's no one in the world can sit here in front of me and tell me, aside of Messi, because I think he's the best player in the world, there's no one in the world that can tell me that there's a better talent, be equal, but not better than Neymar. Because in terms of talent, this guy's top 3 no matter what.
This is the thing.
No.
I understand his availability, bro, because that's what you're going to say.
Forget about availability. If you guys sign Neymar and what you just said happens, and you guys don't get a goalkeeper, you don't get a midfielder,
then that's a different thing.
Then all you've basically done is you've upgraded Rashford's position, moved Rashford to striker.
He's not a left winger, bro. Neymar does not come in and
play. Neymar, do you think Neymar is an upgrade on Rashford?
He's that good. He's so versatile. He could play 10.
He plays anywhere in the front 3, but he would be a number 10.
Where would you play him? Where would you play him?
I'm the number 10, bro. I'm not happy with Bruno. You think I like Bruno?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm Nigerian, and if I wasn't Nigerian, I'd be from the favelas. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm Brazilian, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Si Patron. You get me? I'm all of that.
Love it.
Neymar for me is like a glass door. You know, once you touch him, the thing cracks. Do you get what I'm saying? I love him. I think he's a talent. If he was like a Ronaldinho, a bit more sturdy, I would say I would back what you're saying, my bro. But you know, he'd get one kick from Joe Linton and he's out for the season, you know, like that. So what would be the point in bringing him in?
You know what, Steph? I had the convo with Terry as well, and he was saying, I'm not denying his talent at all. Terry knows he's one of the best players we've seen, but his problem was, that's why when you said also the wage, but his main thing when I was speaking to him off air and whatnot on WhatsApp, and he was at it's availability, which I do hear. But for me, Neymar's that. I agree with Agaldo. If you was just to sign Neymar and not strengthen other positions, which I don't think you would do anyway, but if you can strengthen other positions with quality and add a Neymar, for me, it's a no-brainer. I know it comes with the wages and that, but I think he's that much of a talent, you take that risk. But Deji, I do agree with you, because it's like, what's the point of signing such a luxury player? And that's how I feel with Thiago. We know Thiago's quality, but he never plays.
Bro, so there's certain man, I'll just be real, there's certain man that should not touch English soil. And Neymar's one of them. Because what I don't want to happen is all the positive things that I think about that brother can get unraveled in the dusty, cold nights of Stoke City. Let me just tell you this. The player that Man U should be going for, who is cut out for this league and is sturdy enough, sorry, Galma, bro, is Mbappe. You get Mbappe, you got the real deal right there. Now you got your Haaland, and now Man U go toe-to-toe.
This makes me sick, because you do know, God forbid they get the Qataris, but if they get the Qataris, they're going to go for players like Vinny and Mbappe and that. They're going to actually go for the cream of the crop. And this is why I'm praying they do get to gym, or Glazers just remain for extra year or two. But for me, Neymar's my favorite. He's my favorite footballer. I feel like I grew up with him when I was in school. He was doing the whole Santos thing in Barcelona. You can speak about the R9s and Ronaldinhos and whatnot, all these world-class players, but I was a bit too young. I've actually seen this guy through his prime, so I've got that affection for Neymar. So I don't want him in the United shirt at all.
Let me ask you guys something.
I just didn't understand United fans. You know what? I think Staffy will agree. It's not that United fans didn't. It's not. The problem is United fans not wanting him. It's how they just was quick to dismiss him. Like,
I've seen people saying, keep him away from my club. If you don't want to take a risk, I understand the risk. But you need to at least sit here and give me why you don't want to take a risk. But some of them have said, I plain don't want to take the risk. When you're the biggest club in England, Okay, and you have the most money in England supposedly when it comes to wages and all that, and you can afford wages more than anyone else, and you get offered one of the best players in the world. I seen these guys pants down for Ronaldo 2 years ago when he was 37, and that guy was washed. He just sits in the box and he's waiting for a cross. And because they had that fandom of Ronaldo being back in the United shirt and whatever, they said okay with it. But a guy who's like 5-6 younger than him, who is completely a better talent, who can give us a lot more right now in the team. Because I've seen this guy ball out for PSG in the Champions League final 2 years ago. I've seen him put his heart out for Brazil in the World Cup and absolutely balling in that front. And they want to question his mentality. This guy was crying every time he lost a trophy, including the Champions League and the Copa America. So if he didn't care, he wouldn't be in tears after these games.
Do you want the circus that comes with signing a player like Neymar? Or do you
what
want
is the circus, bro? Because everyone said that. What is the circus?
I've
seen a circus with Ronaldo. No one said anything.
The circus is this. Business end of the season. You're in a cup final. You're in a title race. You're challenging for the Champions League. He's missing for a month because he's in Brazil shaking his nash with his sister.
He didn't do that when he was in Barca, and I feel like people need to understand that the Premier League is different than Serie A. Ligue 1. No, bro, this guy's
football as serious anymore.
Yes.
Based on what we see, he actually football is just a job for him at this point. It's no longer his life.
If it wasn't serious for him, bro, listen, if it wasn't serious for him, he would have never left Barcelona saying, I'm trying to be basically the talisman of my own team, and he's trying to be the biggest star on his own team. And he dragged that PSG team to a final. And when they came
but the moment his life changed was when you seen the diminishing importance in teams. Where when he went to PSG and he realized I'm no longer the guy. When Mbappe she came, you started to see momentarily, slowly, and
he would be the guy on our team. I'm just saying, listen, bro, he's I would take a risk on him. I think he's worth taking the risk. People like him, you got to take a risk on.
The reason a guy has a point because Neymar even said himself.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, big up
risk, but safe piece.
Big up.
Take care.
Neymar even said himself, we've all watched, I don't know if, I'm assuming we've all watched the Netflix documentary, but he's even come out and said a few times, I think after this World Cup, I might just stop playing football. A gal's got a point. Even there's been times in himself, Safi, where he's thought, does he want it as much? And this will hurt for me.
That's why this World Cup hurt him so much.
Yeah. He's literally my favorite player. But the thing is, my problem was, I understand both pros and cons. I understand why United fans don't want him, and I'll understand why United fans do want him. What I just didn't get is the United fans that didn't want him were just acting as if he's like any other player. The way they were just like you said, Sabi, keep him away from my club. I don't want him at all. They weren't even trying to think of ways where
there's people that I won't name that said when the Neymar news came out, they said, get him nowhere near my club. And then 2 days later, when Mount was linked to us, they were debating it. I seen a debate for Mount, but not a debate for Neymar. And I had to stay quiet, bro. I was like, I was like, wait, so you guys are basically telling me you would take Neymar, but you would take Mount. You're making an argument for Mount over Neymar.
Is it crazy that Arsenal fans want Ramos? And I said no.
Which Ramos? The striker?
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
it's similar to the name of. I understand why you would say no, Gal.
No, but Sergio's done.
Injury prone. But that's
my opinion. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Isn't he like 38, bro? He's done, bro.
But you know what their logic is? Their logic is this team needs a leader. This team needs an older figure. He could be our Thiago Silva. He could win us a league. He could win us this. He can win us that. And then you also have Arsenal fans who were saying in January, if Arsenal would have signed Ronaldo, we would have won the league. And I'm telling you guys, what are you talking about?
You wouldn't have.
Can't say both. That's just a bit crazy.
Listen, bro. If Ronaldo would have ever signed to you guys, that league charge that you guys were going for would have collapsed.
It would have ended
a lot earlier than that. I'll tell you that for sure, because he does not play the way you guys play at all. But Ramos is insane.
Just shifting it, trying to bring it a little bit to the conversation of next season. Could Man City do a 4-peat, or do you see Arsenal or Manchester United or Liverpool winning the league, guys?
I'm going to say
one of us three that compete. Really and truly, no one else.
If you want me to be honest, right, I think for me,
can Man City do
there's so much. It's hard to answer it now, but I'm going to tell you what I think. If United get this, let me not even say this takeover. If they get the Qataris, I feel Arsenal will go again because it's very reminiscent. I think it can go two ways with your club, Gal. You're either 13, 14 for us after, and then we literally just didn't challenge again. But only difference is we lost Luis Suarez, our best player. You're not losing on your best players.
No, we're strengthening.
Exactly. Or you can do after 18, 19, when we won the Champions League and missed out by a point, we then go on to win it the next year. I think you lot are going to add adequately, and I think you're going to add quality.
How many players did you add? You added Van Dijk, Alisson, and
Fabinho.
Wait, no, I mean after the Champions League. They were before.
Okay, so we're adding Declan Rice. We're going to add a center half, and we're going to add another midfielder. So if we can get 2 midfielders of quality.
Are you actually getting Declan Rice? Because or is this just talk?
Declan Rice is pretty much.
Declan Rice is pretty much done, bro.
Is he from London?
Yeah, he's from London. He grew up in the Chelsea academy. Family.
I know he was from Chelsea, but I don't know if he grew up.
Family was in West London. They supported either Chelsea or West Ham, one or the other. That's why he worked. That's why he was at both clubs. Right now, this is not even ITK stuff. Arsenal have been talking to about Declan Rice since January, and they have already bid, have an offer ready for 90 million. We've negotiated from where we started at 70 all the way up to 92 million pounds, plus a wage that's going to be around 300k for Declan Rice supposedly.
But back to the question. I think if you had to pick a team for me who's most likely going to challenge City, it's Arsenal. Yeah. However, if United get the Qataris, if United, for example, get a Caicedo, Harry Kane, a Costa in goal, and
I don't want that Costa guy. I don't know why people were talking about him like he's any good, bro. Did you guys not watch him in the World Cup?
No, but
that's a small sample size.
The reason why people are saying him is because he's an example of a goalkeeper who's played at the top level that people can look at and be like, you know what, he's linked to United. Who else is linked to your club, bro?
And he's good with his feet. He's good.
We were linked to Summer the other day. The guy who's in Bayern right now.
You know who I think would be a good keeper for you? For Brentford, David Raya. I don't know why you don't aren't all over.
I'm not gonna lie.
He is linked with us. I just don't know.
That's a good choice.
Good.
I don't know, bro. Because here's the thing, like,
and Steele
we get
Brighton on a free, also Steele.
Yeah, on a free. We're not getting him. Yeah, no, we're not getting Steele.
I thought they were going to sign him because hasn't Sanchez been out of favor? I only know this because of fantasy, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Sanchez has been out of favor, so I thought that's the Zerbi's number one.
Bro, Sanchez last season was the flavor of the month too. So like that's why I don't take all of these seriously. But here's the thing. The one thing that worries me about our goalkeeper change is if we change the goalkeeper, but we don't change enough outfield players. There's no point of taking out one of the best shot stoppers in the world who saved us in so many instances in the last few years because we don't play enough good football. And you put a guy who's good with his feet, but everyone else on the pitch is shit. Because as much as people want to understand it or not, I'm tired of the Wan-Bissaka hype as an example. Listen, I wish this guy the best. I think he's a good kid. He put his head down and he worked this season. He's just not a good footballer. He's a good defender. He's not a good footballer. He needs to go, okay? Midfielders. Bruno doesn't keep the ball well. Eriksen, his legs is gone. We need to sign another midfielder. Kim Min-jae we're being linked with. There's so many questions about who's going to be in our 11. And if you don't give me 11, that all of them, or at least 10 of the 11 are good on the ball, there's no point of getting a Raya because Raya is not an elite shot stopper. I don't want Mount, bro. If we get Mount, I'm not watching.
Do you think Kane, Rice, and Mount is a good window for you guys?
Kane, yes. Mount, no. I think Mount fits Liverpool like a glove.
Rice?
As much as I hate it, no. Mount, I think he fits Liverpool like a glove. The way their midfielders ran is different than what Ten Hag is trying to do.
Oh, but they're getting McAllister.
Yeah, you can get both. They keep telling me they need 3 midfielders, so you might as well get 2 because he fits them perfectly, bro. He keeps it simple and he's so direct.
No, but keep it on United for a second. What about Rice?
I don't know, bro. I'm still undecided about this guy. I think he's overpriced. I don't think he's a bad player. Because people, sometimes when you say someone's overrated, they're like, oh, look, you called him shit. I'm not calling him shit. I just think he's overrated. When you rate him 120 to 150 million, I think that's overrated. Is he a good player? Yes. I don't know. He gives me the same vibes of Harry Maguire in the beginning because he was a good leader on the pitch. He was known for being a very good ball-playing center back. And we signed him for all that money, and then he ended up being nothing. I'm not saying he's a good football. He's as a good football as Harry Maguire right now, but it was the same hype, bro. When you go watch Harry Maguire in Leicester City, everyone rated him.
I think Declan Rice has the ability to be one of the best midfielders in this league.
I don't know, bro. I feel like
You know,
I'm an
exactly.
anomaly, but I really don't rate him that high. I would be okay with him. It's not like I'm saying I wouldn't have him on my
Do you
team.
think Rodri would be the best midfielder in this league or one of the best DMs in this league?
When he signed for City?
Yeah.
But that's different, though. He didn't come with a hype, so I didn't know him. I didn't rate him at the time because I didn't know him. Declan Rice is coming with a hype. Listen,
But you know what?
Declan Rice
For
can
me-
prove me wrong. He could come in because he seems like he has that personality where he can handle the pressure. And if anything, if there's anything that you need when you play for Manchester United is to handle the pressure, because we've seen a lot of talent that comes in that they can't handle the pressure. Easy example: Jadon Sancho has all the talent in the world, but he can't keep it consistent because the pressure is too much for him. Declan Rice looks like he could do it. I just don't know if he's.
What happens
You know
to
what, Staffy,
Casemiro?
though?
What happens to Casemiro if Declan Rice is there? Is you're not so dependent on him if he's injured. You have Declan Rice who could also play there,
He can play a double pivot.
And when you're playing them both together, you have the solidity of two solid defenders who can also get forward and score goals.
That will give I don't rate Bruno, but that will also give Bruno more freedom as well. And
I don't rate Bruno.
you know,
This is why.
And
I
Mason Mount comes to all three of our clubs and upgrades us.
I don't want Mason Mount in my midfield.
I'm glad you rate him as well now, because people speak with him like
I don't think he's an amazing player, but he upgrades all of our teams.
No, bro, he does not upgrade my midfield. He makes my midfield worse because him and Bruno as a combination.
I wouldn't say worse. I wouldn't.
No,
say
bro, no.
Maybe
You gotta hear me.
the same.
No. It makes it worse, bro.
I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it as him coming into your starting 11. I'm saying him added to your team.
He is coming to anyone's starting 11 if he signs for that amount of money. If you put a midfield of Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount, I'm getting a heart attack. I'm not watching any games with that midfield.
In today's world, Staffy, 50 million for a bench player is
bro. He's for 80 million, bro. He's not for 50 million.
No
he's
way.
not going for 50.
There's no way. Chelsea are on a yard sale, bro. People are going to Chelsea. They're getting Toonie Tuesdays. They're buying two players for one.
I just listen, bro. For the chemistry of this team, I don't want him there. There's no way anyone in the world can convince me that a midfield of Casemiro or Bruno and Mount is a good mix. Mount is a B-Tech Bruno. Let's keep it honest. He's another Bruno. One is Portuguese and one is English. I think Flawless said it today on the terrace, and that was the perfect way to say it.
No, Flawless just thinks Mount is terrible.
He is, bro. This guy, listen, bro, when you're a midfielder and you get the ball, and the first thing you think of is you look down, run, and you take a shot, you are not my type of midfielder. This is not what a midfielder does. This guy does not control games. If you want to play the Ten Hag style of ball that everyone's talking about and how he's going to implement it next year, then you get players that keep control of the game. When you want to dominate the ball like City does, you get players that dominate the ball and they control the game. Every time I watch this guy play, and I haven't rated him for years, and if there's anyone that knows me from 3 years ago, they know I've been saying the same shit even when they were winning the Champions League. This guy offers no creation, and this is why all the Chelsea strikers starve when they play with him. There's not a single striker that played with him that had a decent season, because this guy, first of all, we don't know where he plays, whether he's a winger, inverted winger, a number 8, and number 10. I don't fucking know where he plays. He just plays everywhere. He gets the ball. The first thing he does, he looks down. He's just like Rashford. He just looks down at the ball, and then he wants to run. Now, he takes a touch on the ball, and the first thing in his head, how can I take a shot? You cannot be a midfielder, and the first thing you think of is taking a shot, because people used his GA as a thing to justify his game for years. But when you look at it, bro, this guy offers zero fucking creation, and all he does is side passes. I don't want another midfielder who plays like Bruno, because,
don't ask the Chelsea fan. Don't ask me.
I'm just saying Bruno is the same thing, and this is why I'm frustrated with him. There's games where I need Bruno to be a little bit calmer on the ball, take more time on the ball, and sometimes recycle the ball when you don't have the right pass and the right outlet. And this guy rushes everything. He plays everything like he plays every game like he's down 1-0. His speed of the game just pisses me off, because sometimes you need to slow down the game, and he doesn't do that. So when you put someone like him next to him who has the same thought, because Bruno, the first thing he thinks of is a shot or a Hollywood pass. This guy's going to do the same thing. The only difference is he doesn't even have the technical ability of Bruno. At least Bruno has the technical ability.
Mount has a shot.
And I don't want that, bro. I don't want two midfielders that as soon as they get the ball, they're looking for a shot.
You know what is Staffy? For the way Ten Hag wants to play, I actually think you're spot on. The way Ten Hag wants to play, his philosophy, Mount doesn't suit you. You don't need the profile of a Verratti or De Jong that's more of a conductor to calm things down, to connect off the back four. That's what United need. So I do agree. I do agree with you. For my club, our fan base, It's split. Half want him. Actually, I'll say more don't want him. I'll say 70% don't want him, and I'm in the 30 that do, because anyone that comes into my midfield now is an upgrade on Jordan Henderson. So I do want Mount. And what's required from a Klopp midfield, I think
It's different.
Suits it perfectly. So I actually understand when you say you don't want
He
him.
plays the game at a high pace. So do you guys.
Yeah.
This is what I keep saying this, bro. This is why Klopp always calls it the rock and roll football. When he says rock and roll, it's because when you watch Liverpool, they're absolutely different to City. They get the ball. The first thing you see these Liverpool players do is swamp the box, and all you see is crosses from left and right. You lose the ball, it's no problem. We're all gonna run. We're gonna get the ball, and we're gonna go again.
That's not the current season. That was the prime Liverpool.
Yeah, well, this Liverpool is a little bit different because when you lose the ball, you can't get it. But this has been your success for a few years.
Let me just stop everything for a second. If we're gonna be talking on Mason Mount for this long, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna want to shift gears to McAllister, because isn't he the better form of Mason Mount, and that's why Liverpool are getting him.
Do you know what?
Like McAllister more.
McAllister. Liverpool fans are going to just slate me right now, but for some reason, I just don't think this deal gets done. I know Fabrizio said it's 90% done. I know all of the outlets are saying it's done, but I just, with my club, right, recently, we've never really associated noise around the signings. How many signs have we made and you don't hear nothing of it, and all of a sudden, Liverpool have signed this player or agreed a deal with this player. But the fact there's so much noise around McAllister now, I just have a weird feel. I could be wrong, and I hope
you could end up with Mount. You could end up with Mount.
Exactly. And did you see the way Pep had his hand round McAllister? And I don't know. There's just little things with talk of Gundo leaving. I think that's because I spoke to City fans. City fans said he's a good signing for us. He's a great signing for us. I think he'll be a good signing for United. I think he'll even do a job at Arsenal as well.
I think he fits everyone's team.
He fits all of the top 6 team. I think for Spurs, he's a good.
Because of his passing range.
Yeah, but not even just that, Agal. Like it's his passing range. He's quite calm on the ball. He's
calm on the ball, and his work rate fits everyone, bro.
Exactly.
You saw him in the World Cup, bro. This guy went to the World Cup and coming from Brighton, and he looked. Listen, if you're someone who doesn't know football and you were just watching the Argentina team, you would assume this guy's playing the same level teams as everyone else. You know, because this guy was playing next to people from Juventus and Barcelona and PSG,
exactly.
and he looked like he belonged. And he looked like he belonged. You know, even
he looked like he was one of the best players on the pitch at times.
Exactly, bro. And in the cup, in the World Cup final, didn't he have the assist to Di Maria? Even though I don't rate GA that high, but even if you want to make a GA argument, he was calm in that break that they had, and the pass that he picked to Di Maria.
Didn't he have a game-winning goal for them?
I think one of them was Enzo against Mexico. I think he had one goal, but I don't think if he had a win.
Yeah, but I don't think it was game winning. I think it was in a run of. I think it was a 3 or 4 win where he just he scored one of the goals. But yeah. I do want him as much. I think there's going to be a late twist. It's not to say I don't want him. If I see that we've got the deal over the line and that, I'll be more than happy. But
you want to know something? You're a rare case of a Liverpool fan. I like Liverpool fans. I don't get onto them too much, but the reality is, if Arsenal fans are bad and delusional, you guys are terrible with transfers because you believe everything.
We are. This is, I have to admit, I'll say our 2 clubs, when it comes to... this is what... Slappy, I think you misunderstood my tweet the other day. When I said...
I know what you meant, but I just...
I was being sarcastic because this is what we do. Not me as an individual, but my fan base as a whole. The minute we're linked to a player... Or
if someone at your door,
all of a sudden he's the best thing ever. Like the minute we sign a player, he's the best thing. Oh, he's better than yours. Comparisons, it's like just chill out. And it's like we grow this attachments to players before they're even ours. And then the minute we don't get them, even that good. Say that again.
That happens to us too. One photo, one tweet from Eduardo Hagen, one tweet from Grizz for you guys.
Yeah, big up Grizz.
And the whole fan base is lapping it up.
Yeah, it's true, man, and it's just
like I love Grizz.
The perfect thing is the Bellingham thing. Bellingham 2023 is guaranteed a player, and that now when he's not here, fans are now saying, "Well, we would have preferred McAllister." And I personally didn't want Bellingham. I always said
Man United did it with De Jong.
De Jong, yeah.
De Jong was the savior. We need to stop doing this as fans. No one player is the savior.
Savior, exactly. And we need to remember how big our 3 clubs. Let's be honest. If we want to go heritage, we're the heritage of English football. The 3 biggest English football.
Biggest.
We need to stop doing this one player is not our savior. Like a gal said, we're bigger than this. No one player is bigger than like Saka or Martinelli's not bigger than Arsenal. Like a Rashford's not bigger than United.
No.
A Trent's not bigger than Liverpool. Like,
today, Terry said to me, "Aren't you excited? Declan Rice's deal's close." I'm like, "No, get the deal done, then I'll be excited." Right now, I'm thinking tired of hearing
like,
about.
You've heard your lesson though, because remember the metric stuff? You thought that was done. So
Bro, you want to know something? Today I got heartbreaking news. Caicedo's not happening. As long as Arsenal are looking at Declan Rice,
wait, it's not happening.
as long as Arsenal are looking at Declan Rice as the number one, Caicedo's off the table as an option.
Yeah, take him.
You see, your fans even made an abbreviation, Ricedo, as in both of them are.
They're delusional. They were the same fans who were singing, "Oh Nana, what's my name?" The guy was suspended for a year. The guy was
from Everton.
No,
the goalkeeper in Inter. He was an Ajax.
Sorry, I thought you meant the Everton one.
Oh, they're both
Onana was literally suspended for a year, and we were singing songs about him. Big up.
Do you know who I think Caicedo ends up at? Big up, Sophia. It's gonna make me sick, but I think he ends up at Staffy's club. You know, I think
no. I heard through a little birdie he's going to Chelsea.
Yeah, me too.
No, wait, no.
I heard the Ugarte or whatever his name is, the sporting guy, the guy who got a red card, pissed me off. That guy, he is going to PSG, and this whole thing is a smokescreen for what's actually going to happen. They're going to go to Brighton the moment the window opens, drop 50K. And then they're going to say no. Then they're going to drop 60K. Then they're going to say no. And then they're going to drop the actual money that they really wanted to pay originally, which was 80K, but they 80 million. But they're going to do it at the end of the transfer window after they've already sold a couple players.
That's crazy. You know, I think we're looking at the craziest summer, you know, especially for the top 8. I even think you're going to see Villa linked to it. We already seen them linked to big players and whatnot, but we're about to see a crazy summer. Because one thing I can finally say, and it's only because we have to, my club are now going to say, sign players, and you don't normally synonymize Liverpool spending big, but I actually think we could, not even because we actually have to do this summer. But I think honestly 3 midfielders and a centre back. I genuinely think
we're looking at a massive summer exodus similar to Man United and all you guys. Let me show you guys a list of players who have actually been linked away from the football club in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Every single player on this list has been linked away from the club with credible links.
Oh my God.
As you should, bro. There should be a clear out. We're having a clear out too.
Include Thomas Partey to the list now. 15 players have been linked away.
Wait, some of these contracts are Maitland-Niles contract's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
And someone else, I think it was
Cedric has 1 more year. Everyone else has years. Pepe, listen to this. Pepe, nobody in world football wants to sign Pepe for even £1.
That's not true. Everyone wants to sign someone.
No, nobody in world football is willing to sign Pepe on a permanent deal.
There's no way, Gal. He has to at least have one freaking offer.
Not one offer has come in for Nicolas Pepe.
Oh, that's like the same people telling me like about De Gea. Everyone is like the De Gea ins and outers. They're like, if your goalkeeper is so good, why is he not getting offers from everyone else? And I'm like, he's definitely getting enough offers.
No, the report came out of France that the same people who reported that we were going to sign him said that there's no actual link to Pepe for a permanent move away from Arsenal. He's most likely going to stay at Arsenal.
It's probably because of his price, maybe. Like, but I'm just saying, like, if this guy was on a free, someone would be like, yeah, of course I'll take him.
We're trying to get rid of him for 25 mil.
I think this guy's a waste of time, because I rated him. I don't know.
I agree with Staffy that I think you haven't had a what do you call it? You haven't had an offer yet, but there'll be a club out there that needs him and will rise the funds.
There's no player that has no offers. Like, there's no one offering you. When you're an official football player, like
unless you're at the end of your career, maybe free agent 36, 37, and at that point you might just retire. But I think for now, Agal, you're right. I think no one wants him, but give it a month or two. I reckon you'll have clubs that the offers will start coming in.
Okay.
Listen, I want Man United fans in the comments to help me out here. Would you rather have Declan Rice or Caicedo in the midfield? Because we've been talking about
that's not a question.
I think more people would have Caicedo.
I want Caicedo. Especially with the way our team is. I feel like Arsenal would fit them more.
You guys have a problem you don't even realize. You have a quota issue at United.
I just want to pick up on something you said earlier, though. In this country, you even know this. a lot of English media automatically hype up our players, and I get that, English tax, all that stuff. But I think with Declan Rice, it's justified because he's coming up. I think it's around 200 appearances for West Ham. He's not only an England international, he's an England starter. He's a leader, like you said. There's a lot of pros. I think if you're going anything over 80 mil, that's a bit too excessive for Rice, personally for me. But anything 80 mil max, so anything 60 to 80, I think that's justifiable because he's a seasoned professional. And we need to remember his age. He's 24. He's not even hit. He's still got 2-3 years left.
Yeah, he's young. I know he's young, and Caicedo's young. But here's my thing, bro. The reason I don't want anyone in that midfield coming in with a big hype like Mount and Rice, and basically anyone who's English comes in with a big hype. I don't want anyone coming in with pressure, and I don't want anyone coming in with the idea that he's gonna be like the star of the team. Caicedo comes in and no one thinks he's the star. Everyone knows.
You need to remember what club you support. There's naturally gonna be pressure.
Let me ask everyone here: do you think your club thinks the same way you do? Because my club,
I hope my manager.
My club definitely.
My club, for a fact, they don't believe in signing players that we believe in signing. We wanted a striker for years, we never got one. We wanted when we wanted a center back, we got Pepe. when we wanted a winger, we got a center back. So it's like this summer we want 2 midfielders that are dynamic, that can defend and they can get forward and think.
And this is why I want Caicedo.
What they're doing is they're basically telling us that they want Declan Rice and Mason Mount.
Everyone
wants Declan Rice and Mason Mount. It makes
no
sense.
My club didn't sign
all of our clubs want Mason Mount.
I don't want Mason Mount.
My club didn't sign a midfielder for four windows, bro. That says it all. My club definitely.
Chelsea haven't signed a midfielder for 5 years, bro.
For 5,
bro.
Yeah, the last one they signed was
Enzo,
Kovacic, I think.
Until they signed Enzo, Kovacic was their last midfield signing.
And Kovacic came in like 4 years ago, I think.
Tottenham's even worse. Tottenham's even worse. They signed 4 midfielders, all busts. Undembele, Lo Celso. What was the other guy? They signed like 4 crazy midfielders and they all busted. Tottenham was terrible.
Getson Fernandez was one of them as well. He was supposed to be the next big thing. But to answer your question, Cal, clubs definitely don't think how we. Our fan base has been screaming for a midfielder for about the last 3 seasons, and they haven't. So
you know what? If our fan base were in control, all of our clubs would have signed Basuma, and look at how bad he was for Tottenham.
Bro, listen, 2 years ago we were offered, not offered, but we were told about Caicedo because of his links with Ecuador and Valencia and whatever in the early days, and he was like less than 4 million. And we didn't take this
down, didn't it? Yeah,
and he turned it down because he wanted.
Apparently, Enzo as well. Saeed was telling me Enzo as well.
I think Enzo, Alvarez, because that was in the Ranić days. Ranić came out and he mentioned some of the Diaz before he went to you guys. There was a lot of people that were mentioned. I trust this manager a little bit more because I've seen him act a little bit different and a little bit more properly. But I just need to see this season, this summer, bro. I need to see us get the players that we need. I need a striker. I can't have Weghorst anymore. When Weghorst comes on, we know the party's over. I always tell them, let's make sure we score goals before Weghorst comes on because the goals are over once he comes on.
Kane or Osimhen, bro?
Kane, bro.
Over Osimhen, really?
I like Osimhen, but I just think he's gonna come in. He's gonna need time to get adapted to the Premier League and whatnot. And I feel like Kane is he's more of a short term, but I see us making some decent signings next season. If I could name a few of them, maybe listen, I'll tell you this, and it's obviously not gonna happen. But you tell me you're getting Kane, Neymar, the goalkeeper. I don't know who the goalkeeper is. I still am not decided. Caicedo, and we're already getting that guy from Bayer Leverkusen, Frimpong, and maybe Kim Min-jae. You give me these signings, I'm gonna tell you we're gonna go for the Champions League. We're not gonna go for the league, but I could tell you we can compete for the Champions League.
You know what's so mad? That's all a dream. Unless you get the Qataris. This is why I think as rival
that's what I'm saying. A lot needs to happen
for
first.
You lot not to get the Qataris. That's
Because you'd be scared. No, and you're right. You know what we could do if we get the
that
Qataris
all
in.
could probably come true
Yes.
if you get the.
Don't you think the Champions League, you need experience to be a lot of.
I'll tell you why I said the Champions League ago before anyone thinks I'm deluded. The only reason I said the Champions League and not the Premier League because it's harder to win the Premier League. The Champions League is 16 games in the Champions League, and you don't need to win all of them to win the trophy. And,
Oh,
and
but
a lot of
there's
that comes down to luck.
But
No, but I'll tell you,
experience
is
in
this
it.
Inter team experienced in Champions League? No, and they made it to the final. A few years ago, Chelsea won the Champions League with Tammy Abraham, Mount, and Havertz, and these guys didn't have experience. So it involves a lot of luck. It involves a lot of luck, and you could be on your day, and that's it. You know what I mean?
And
Whereas the Premier League, you need to be on your day for 38 games, and that's a lot harder to do.
You know why
What
that
do
makes
you
sense?
think there's a higher chance of Arsenal winning the league next year, or you winning the Champions League?
Us winning the Champions League because, as I said, the league is a lot harder. That's not me saying we're good enough to win the Champions League. By the way, if everyone says it, I just basically
That's what they'll do.
how
Steph.
we,
You need to
yeah,
learn.
they're gonna be like, look at this
By the
guy.
way,
They're gonna clip me. They're gonna be like, look at this idiot. He's saying,
Guys, let me know
he's
what you
good
guys
enough to
think in
win
the comment
Champions
section. What's harder? I think personally, I agree with you. Champions League's easier because
League. 16 games to 38, bro. And this is
and you know what, Staffy? To add to your point, you've got two experienced players. You've got two players that won it.
Technically, it's only 9 because you need to win the group stage. You don't really need to win all your group stage games. I've seen.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. It's 16 games, and you don't even have to win all of them. You can win the first 3, and you're good. First 4, and then even in the qualifiers, you can spank a team in the first game, and then you're good on the second game. You don't even need to win it.
Every game. You only really need to win one.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's a lot easier to win it. You can get it, bro. You can get an easy draw. You can get the good side of the draw, where like on your side of the bracket, there's the booty teams, and on the other side, all the good teams. You could say how many games are there in the group stage of the Champions League? 6.
Okay, so say you win 3 of those games, right? You could draw the rest. It doesn't matter. Then you get in the knockout round. You could win 1 in the first round and draw the second one. You win the second one, draw the second one,
or even lose by smaller margin.
You're in the semifinals now. You draw and you win the other one. So that's 6 games. You could technically win the champion. You could go to the Champions League finals winning 6 games.
That's what I'm saying. It's easier to win that, and this is why last year Madrid was not the best team in the tournament, and they won it because in moments they were winning the game. Whether it's a Benzema hat trick,
isn't that the same for the World Cup?
But you know what you're saying is not crazy.
Yeah, but
you know why what you're saying is not crazy, Staffy, as well. Because I look at your team and see Varane and Casemiro. They're serial Champions League winners as well, and they'll have that know-how and that experience to maybe get the players who've not won it yet over the line. But I think World Cup, did Money just mention World Cup? World Cup's different because it's not two-legged, it's straight.
No, but the thing is,
it's the same idea.
I agree that Man United have the experience with Casemiro and Varane. But one thing you also have to say is there's a difference between being the bus driver and being on the bus. They are on the bus. They're not the bus drivers.
Who is the bus driver then?
The bus drivers at Real Madrid, let's be honest, is the Luka Modric.
I thought you were talking about the players like Casemiro and Varane. No, of course. Listen, by no means are we favorites. It depends on a lot of things. But that's what all I'm trying to say is if you told me you have to place a bet right now, put your house on the line, either you win the Premier League next year or the Champions League, I would say the Champions League because we don't have a chance at both, but I'll take the one that's easier to win.
I would say the Premier League because Arsenal have never won the Champions League, and the likelihood of us doing that in our first season back after 6 years is more likely. I am more likely to be playing on the Premier League than us winning the Champions League next year.
I agree with that, Go. I agree with that.
I kind of see why you're saying that Arsenal and Man United are different. We've won bigger games this year than you guys, and it just shows you that on the right night you can actually get something because we've beaten City once. You guys didn't beat them this year. You know, we've beaten Barcelona in Europe. You know, we've had some decent wins this year, but we didn't do it well in the league. And this just actually proves my point even more. You know, sometimes you can be on it that night and win and qualify, but it's harder to go then next Sunday and like spank Bournemouth in Bournemouth or like some of these small teams. Arsenal did that a little bit more consistently this year. We didn't, you know, so we're on 2 different boats.
I'm not going to say Arsenal's going to win the Champions League until we've at least gone to the semifinals first.
Not until you get rid of Arteta. Because you don't want to listen to me.
I think the Arteta conversation is going to be a redundant conversation we're going to have the whole year. But you want to know something? I seen something today from Edu, and it really made me smile. Because you can call it PR, but it's the honest truth. I seen somewhere. Let me see what he said. He said something like, before we used to celebrate top 4. Now we're frustrated with second. It's a raising of standards that's happening at this moment in time.
I hear that. It's a small progress. I hear that. I see where he's coming from.
You know what I mean? And then in the summer, this summer, it's basically don't freak out because the summer's a long window. But come the end of the summer, we'll know who's making a statement and who's not. And you want to know something?
It's not like the ideal summer, guys, and this is what my club used to do. You ideally just want all your signings out of the way so you can have your pre-season settled. I think most big clubs should be right. It's not realistic, but I think most of us would. An ideal summer for a lot of our clubs is to get most of your signings over the line quite early, have a nice pre-season, and if anything, the only thing that's happening in your transfer window is outgoings. You would want all your incomings quite early so they can settle with the squad. They can.
Not even your outgoings, bro, because you want your manager to focus on who's actually going to stay in the club.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Arsenal Football Club do this thing where they're meet. Yo, what's your realistic expectations for the Champions League? Ozan Kabak, realistically, I'm expecting if Arsenal get out of the group stages, we try to go for the quarterfinals. I think that's a successful season for us. I don't think we could be expecting this team who hasn't been in the Champions League for 6 years to get out the group stage and then go to the semifinals. And I don't think if we get out the group stages, we're even.
How about you, Rams? What's your expectations for the Champions League next year?
I don't have expectations for that, but I know we're winning Europa League. You're cheeky. We'll have a European trophy by the end of next year.
I see Caicedo, Declan Rice, Neymar, Kane joining Manchester United. Kroenkes and Arteta need to go. You're crazy.
No, we're not going to get all that. But I actually see us doing at least 3.
With the Qataris,
I see 3 of them.
No, but big up my guy here. Listen, I'm just going to say this. This might sound hot take or anything, but I don't think the Kroenkes are bad owners. I don't think they're the problem that's holding us back right now.
You don't?
What is the problem then?
I don't think the Kroenkes are holding us back. I think the people that are in the decision-making situations have not gotten the team good enough to compete yet. But the Kroenkes are willing to spend what it takes to get there.
Yeah, but you should be spending more. And this is my issue with the Glazers. When people
say
you spent $1 billion.
You should see based on what the Kroenkes are doing in North American sports that they're pushing.
Yeah, but but you can't compare sports in England to here. Here, it's all about money.
I think
the thing that generates more money here, because all the sports are big commercially. So NFL,
I'm not
NBA,
saying Kroenkes
baseball.
in. I'm just saying I don't think they're the problem.
I think you're crazy for that.
I don't think they've shown financial ambition. They've shown in January they're willing to spend 70 million on Caicedo, 90 million on Declan Rice. It's just the deals couldn't get done.
Yeah, but they haven't done it yet, Igal. Didn't you really wanted Mudryk, and then freaking Chelsea came in and swooped you guys because they were ready to pay the money.
And you know what?
I'm not saying
bullet.
But that's what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter like if it ended well or wrong. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ambition himself. You know,
look,
you guys. What if he was a hit, Igal? He could have came in and
win the championship. I believe Arsenal's going to win it next year. How about that?
Staffy, did the Nuggets win the NBA chip? I hope so, because I think Jokic is due a ring. But the Celtics look like they're coming back, so I don't know what's going to happen.
They are the problem.
Explain to me in the playoffs, right?
Explain to me.
The Nuggets in the final. Hold on, Igal. The Nuggets are in the final, but then you have Celtics and Miami on the other side. Miami was up 3-0, and they were one win away from a sweep, and then Celtics now made it 3-2. So
Celtics have Tatum in it. I'm not really into NBA.
Yeah. It would be the first 3-0 comeback in NBA history because no one has ever came back from 3-0.
They're not going to do it. Miami's going to win.
I don't know, bro, because they told them, they were like, don't let us get one on you, because they were winning 3 and then they were talking shit, and then Jaylen Brown came out and he was like, you better make sure we don't win one, because if we do, basically
Jaylen Brown's the aggressive one. I watched the finals last
Number
year.
7.
Marcus Smart is the aggressive one. Marcus Smart
is the shorter one with the acne.
That's it.
Brown is number 7.
Do you know who I like from?
I'm gonna say this: Jokic is gonna win the NBA Finals. Denver is the best team in the NBA. They play the best basketball in the NBA. They have the most balanced team. They have the best bench.
Are they basically the Man City of the NBA?
Listen, if we see the Nuggets and the Celtics in the final, it's basically like that Champions League final when we would have seen City and
I would have said
basically
Golden
the best
State
2 teams at the time.
I would have said Golden State's the Man City. But what I would say is Jokic
not as
is
of
the
this year.
Jokic is the best player in the NBA, and it's more like they're Argentina.
Who?
Denver would be Argentina.
Not really, because they're very well drilled, bro. They are the Man City this year. Because you look at this whole team, he's the star and he doesn't have to
Who's the best
score
player in
every
the world right now for you?
I think it's Jokic.
And that's what I'm saying.
But he didn't even win it, Igal. You could technically, that's my opinion. Embiid won it. So technically, I'm not right.
Embiid won
They
it.
gave him the MVP.
Regular season trophies don't matter, bro.
Oh yeah, because he said that.
Regular season trophies don't matter. Embiid deserves to be MVP, but what really matters at the end of the day, what really matters at the end of the day, does anybody here care about individual trophies? De Gea got Golden Glove. Do you give a shit?
I don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the league, but he got it, yeah. I'm happy for him because I love him.
These things don't matter. What really matters at the end of the day is who lifts the thing and who shows armpits. And I genuinely believe it doesn't matter who faces Denver in the finals. Denver are going to win their first NBA championship.
I want to see the Celtics go because that would be actually the best two teams in the country playing against each other.
I think Miami going would be amazing because it's the first ever 8th seed in NBA history to go to the finals.
I need to get into basketball, man. This sounds lit.
And they have the rivalry with Jokic from 2 years ago when he
and you know what? Either one who wins, Jimmy Butler winning, his story being leaving the Chicago Bulls because of attitude situation, leaving Minnesota because he got into a fight with the whole thing. This guy went and he took the second string team.
He was homeless at some point.
He faced the first string team and he beat them with the second string team, and he was wearing a Rolex throughout the whole game in practice.
And Jokic, when Jokic got drafted, he got drafted in the second round. When they drafted him, he wasn't even on the screen. It was during a Taco Bell commercial. So they didn't even show him on the screen. They just showed like a little thing on the bottom, like, you know how Igal's name's on the right side of the screen? And it just says the Denver Nuggets.
Jokic got drafted. Also, Jokic, when he used to play basketball back in the day, he used to tweet people saying, "Yo, can someone want to play? Someone want to play a freaking thing." You know what the craziest thing about this?
Bro, I'm not kidding. Look him up, bro. Look up Jokic. You'll see a picture of him like a few years ago. He's a little fat boy that lives in Serbia.
I'm gonna wrap this up right
now.
He's a
tall guy, isn't it?
But but
he was so fat when he was little.
The last thing I'm gonna say, the Miami Heat look like they made the Celtics quit after Game 3. If they go and let the Celtics win, this will be the biggest collapse in a single playoff series history.
They would have done an Arsenal, yeah.
You know what? It's not an Arsenal. You know what? In my fantasy league, people are saying I've done an Arsenal because I had like 100 points.
Hey, because you guys were 93% through, and then you collapsed. They were 3-0 up. No one has ever lost the league after going up 93% of the way, and no one's ever lost a playoff series after being up 3-0. It's the record. Listen, the record is 152-0, something like that. So no one has ever done it.
And you're not winning nothing. Miami are a great team. Heat culture, actually, you know what? Heat culture exists. That is probably the best thing that I want. Heat culture at Arsenal. I want.
The Heat are like Atletico Madrid. They're like that team that has talent, but they're very hardworking and dirty. You know, this is what's good about them. Like Jimmy Butler's been talking shit the whole series.
But that kind of mentality breeds winning. Every club should want that.
But Jokic, the Nuggets are Man City, bro. Like the this team is.
The Golden State Warriors are Manchester City.
Well, they got bounced 2 rounds ago.
You see what Kabak said? He said, "Welcome to Gal Talks Basket."
Listen, I'm gonna wrap
I don't know why we switched to basketball, but we ran out of shit to say.
Here. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I used to talk basketball on the channel a lot, and then I stopped.
We'll do a gal talks basketball.
There you go. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. We're out of here. Have a good one, guys. You already know what it is. Love for the love. Anyone listening to this on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever you're listening to on YouTube, shout out to all you guys. Check out Rom on Big Six Bands. And, of course, Jerry. What's Jerry's channel?
The Jerry James Show as well, yeah.
Jerry James Show. And Staffy, you got anywhere for people to check you out?
Guys, I'm everywhere. Just as I said before, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. You'll know what shows I'm on. You'll know where I'm making appearance. Here you go. Mike, right here. You'll see me on Twitter. You'll see me on Instagram. Whenever I'm on a channel, you'll know.
Eldon Staffy, and you guys already know Eagle Talks Football on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere. Anyways, we're out of here, people. You already have a good one. Peace. Fabrizio Romano, take it away.
Here we go.